How do? How the hell are you? Flipping heck. Can we hear me okay? Or do I need to turn this microphone on? Let me know if you can hear me or not. Let's see. I'll wait for the comments to come through. Is there anybody commenting? There we go. There we go. The good stuff. Hey, Kirk, how's tricks? Andy Meister, hi Kirk, how you doing, bud? Calvin Jones, how's the bathroom? We're at the video release. That's where I'm up to. Literally, that video got edited in like 3 hours and just posted. So that's literally the stage I'm at. Brian Costello, how you doing, Brian? Bradley Wakefield, why would you be a sellout? Oh, we'll get to that now. So, I want you to tell me if you think I've done the right thing or not. So, because I don't want to be a sellout. But, I mean, I don't know if it's a flipping great opportunity that I'm missing out on. So, I'll tell you what's going on. Right. So, when my channel started getting more and more views, you start getting people reaching out for sponsorships and stuff like that, you know. Deals come in. I did a thing with Surfshark. You seen that? I did a thing with that tuning box, a few other bits and bobs, jump start packs, and all sorts of things like that. You know, and basically, you're sponsored by SBR, James. No, I wish I was. Basically, when you do these sponsorship things, what they do is they come at you, they email you. So I'll get an email through and it'll come up with like sponsorship opportunity. Yeah. And then what they'll do then is they'll say to you, look, we want a 60-second integration on one of your videos and we'll give you a certain amount of Wonga, right? Now, look, I like that, you know, it's good for me to sort of get paid because YouTube money it's okay. I'm not knocking it, but it's not great, you know. So, I mean, if these massive channels, the big YouTubers, yeah, I'm sure they're fine. But my little channel, like, you know, it does okay. I'm not complaining about it. But ultimately, the sponsorship deals are really good because, for instance, you know, for a 60-second snippet in one of my videos, they will offer anywhere between like, you know, 800 and 1,800 quid. You know, it's usually around about £1,000, 1,200 quid for 60 seconds of talking about their product. So, I mean, I know that it's only a 60-second integration. It takes a little bit longer than that to film, and you have to film it and send it to them, and they say if it's okay or not, and then they tweak things and send it back. And the whole process of getting their little integration is an absolute pain in the backside, if I'm honest with you. But, you know, I get a nice little Wonga at the end of the month for it, so it is quite good. I'm actually doing something with this AG1. Right, now here's the thing. I don't want to recommend something to you guys that I wouldn't personally use myself. So, for instance, like that Surfshark, when I did the thing with them, they sent me a trial thing. Like, you know, I got like 6 months for free. So I used it. It's still on my computer now. I still use it. It's quite good. Will I keep it after the free trial? Probably, because it is quite good, especially for Netflix and stuff like that. I'm not plugging them, by the way. I'm just telling you the genuine truth that, you know, I don't want to be a sellout, but I'm going to tell you what's happened in a minute, why I'm saying I'm not a sellout and have I made the right decision. So, for instance, now, like the likes of this AG1, they do these like vitamin drinks. I genuinely have been drinking them for the last month or two, and I like them because I eat a crap diet. And that's full of vitamins and minerals. So I think, well, at least I'm getting me vitamins and minerals, and, you know, by drinking this stuff. So I can eat me crap, but I get the good stuff at the same time. Now, here's the thing with it. What I want to know, right? Whether I've made the right choice or not. Basically, if I'm not going to genuinely use something, then like you boys on this live, this is why I appreciate your input, because you guys that watch me lives and interact with me, I get lots of viewers on my videos, but no one really interacts. Whereas you guys are like me, feel like using me mates, me internet mates, if that makes sense. So I've had a company reach out to me, and they would like me to start to use their trowels in my videos and recommend them. And the amount of money, to put into perspective, companies will, let's just say a ballpark figure for the sponsorship deal on a video is £1,000. Let's just say that's roughly like a ballpark figure. They give you £1,000. This company wanted me to use their trowels and recommend their trowels in every single video. Every time I do a plastering video, I have to say, oh, I'm using such and such. I'm not going to mention the name. I'm going to be using such and such a trowel, and I recommend it in every single video for a 6-month deal. Bear in mind that I chuck a video every sort of week. So you can imagine the sort of money. I mean, it's not, you can't just times, it's not like £4,000 a month and it comes out, but it's a good couple of £1,000. But here's the deal. I don't use their trowels. Everybody knows what trowel I use. I mean, if you don't know what trowel I use by now, you haven't been watching properly. So I'm thinking, what would you have done? What would, right, you guys just tell me, right, if someone said, let's just say the amount was like flipping, what's it work out at? Let's just say, round it off, right? Let's just say if someone offered you like 15 grand and said, we'll pay you 15k to use our trowels in your videos for the next 6 months, and say that this is what you use and this is the fantastic tool and all the rest of it, would you have done it? Or because in my mind, right, I'm thinking this YouTube channel that I've started, I didn't even start it because I wanted to be a YouTube star and everything. I started the channel because I was making videos for my son and I didn't want to lose the footage, right? So I feel like I've got to sort of stay true, because now I interact with you guys, I feel like I'm just bullshitting this. So see where I'm coming from? But it's a nice chunk of money as well, isn't it? Well, what should I do? I mean, I've already said no, and I don't want to sort of chase after them, but I don't know. See what you're saying in the comments. Hugh Jundies, you only sell out if you promote bad stuff. True. Oh, the bad trowels. I don't like them. So I suppose that finishes that, doesn't it? Smegma, go for it. James, Hong Kong Trial Company. No. I've never even heard of them, mate, to be honest with you. This treatment, hi, mate. Is there a map on? Why is there a map on the roof? Are you a dentist? Yeah. Well, I used to drink myself stupid and then just fall back and look at it and decide where I want to go on holiday. No, the map's on the roof, mate, because my geography skills aren't the greatest. So when I'm looking at places, when Kieran went traveling and when I go on holiday and stuff, I like to go, if you're there, then you can just nip to there, if it's on the way home, because I like to book a one-way flight, go and find my hotel separate, and then fly home when I've had enough. But it's good to be able to see, well, if I'm there, I could just go to there for a couple of days before I come home. So, and I've got no wall space. I've run out of wall space. That's why it's up there. Are the trials any good? Omar, are they good trials? Do you want to use them? No, ultimately. Dalboy, don't do it. It's all about the quality. There we go. Bradley Wakefield knows. Marshalltown 14x4 carbon. That's it. It's like I'm known for it. That's, and I think if I just couldn't do it. I don't think. Let's have a A 1986. How I took the money. Whoever A 1986 is, I like that already because you're born the same year as me. Ben P. Have a disclaimer at the start of the video, then advertise it. And this is the other thing as well. We didn't even go into the discussions, but I'm sure, no doubt, they'd give me an upload schedule when they wanted me to upload videos. There'd be like certain things I've got to say, certain things I can't say. So this is the other thing when you do like. I'm going to do a thing with these probably on the next video or the video after. But they tell me certain things that I can't say about their product and things that I can say. What they do is they want you to do it off the cuff, all these sponsorships. You know, they want you to do your own sort of presentation on it, but get in their key points in your own words. And then also, they want sort of things like they can't have bad language in the video. Or they can't have, certain. I mean, I don't know why they tell me this because I don't have this sort of stuff. But they don't want like people getting hurt in the videos. They don't want car crashes. They don't want wars. Any war footage. They give you all specifications on things that you have to conform to be able to integrate their thing into your video to ultimately get paid by them. And if you don't stick to the rules, basically. They get the advertising, but they don't have to pay you out on the contract. So at the end of the month, they just say, no, we're not paying. So you've got to sort of stick to what they say. Now I'm thinking as well, if I had took that deal for the next 6 months, they've basically got me by the knackers telling me what I can and can't say on my videos, haven't they? So I just, I think I've made the right decision. But I also feel like I've just lost a lot of money. So I just want you guys to make me feel better. Basically, that's why I've come on. I just want you to say, yeah, you did the right thing, Kirk, Because, I hope my missus isn't watching, because if I go to my missus, she'll probably fill me in. I'll probably get battered. James, I hate when Skill Builder always pushes abacus. Yeah, see, I always push half time. Look, I'm not plugging in, by the way. I am, but I'm not. I always plug this stuff. But I don't even get paid for this. Mark Shepherd, who makes this stuff, there's no deal at all. Whether you could say there's a deal or not, I'll tell you the truth. I'll just be 100% transparent with you, right? The fella that makes this stuff, I met him on a Facebook group, right? Absolutely lovely fella. Sent me a few little sample packs out years ago. We got chatting. Sound guy. I started doing stuff on YouTube, and the next minute he asked me if I'd go and render his house for him. So I've gone flipping a bit out of my way, to be fair. It was quite a bit out of my way. I went up there anyway, rendered all his house for him. And he's a flipping lovely, lovely top fella. So I naturally, because I like him, and I do genuinely use half time, plug his products in my video. Now, there's no agreement between me and Mark whatsoever. He doesn't give me he doesn't give me a bean at all. But every now and then, I just get a little present off him. Now, it's not like I'm not expecting them. That's literally arrived today. I don't expect it off him. I don't ask for it. And he doesn't tell me he's going to send it me and do this, this, and this. He just genuinely just sends me little gifts and I just use his stuff. So, but, I'm just trying to be genuinely 100% straight with you. This, I'll hopefully get paid for. I'm not trying to plug that in the video now. I'm genuinely drinking the flipping stuff. But using trowels that I don't use on a daily basis and then telling you guys that these are great trowels and these are what I like using and all that, I wouldn't do it to you boys. I wouldn't do it to me, ultimately. But I do feel a little bit gutted. Right, anyway, let's have a look what you lads are saying in the comments here. Card anglers, show me the money. Yeah. Darren Anthony Gribbin, follow your heart and never let money be your god. Yes, I'm glad you said that, mate. Can always get more money, can't we? You can do more work. You can just get more money. Jordan Hall, not if you don't believe the tool's the best for you and your audience. No. Personally, I would hold out. I think your channel is great and will grow. Yeah, I mean, the thing with the YouTube as well is I'm ultimately, I don't even do the YouTube for the money. I mean, I get paid off it. YouTube pay me money and it's nice. But I don't do that for the money. I originally started doing it for my son. So I feel a little bit like I've sort of gone on back on myself on that really, because I originally started doing the YouTube channel to make videos for my lad. And then people started asking me, "Oh, how'd you do this? And what about this?" And blah blah. You know, and I sort of said, "Oh, I'll make a video on it next time." You know, there was guys that have there's guys in the comments that have been with me from like 200 subscribers. So, you know, and they'd say things, and I'd say, "Oh, I'll make a video on that for you next time I get the chance." So then I must admit, once the monetization thing came available on YouTube and I found that they're going to put adverts on my videos, whether I want them or not, like you guys will get subjected to adverts on my videos. I don't get a choice in that. What I do get a choice in is whether I can cash in on them or not. YouTube will put the ads on there. When I'm eligible for monetization, which I am, I can take half that money. So I do have an option with that. And then there is an option I can intensify the adverts. So I don't, you know, I just leave them sort of. You get a few mid-roll ones and that's it. I can't help it. But ultimately, you know, I get paid for it, but I don't do YouTube for the money. So even if my channel grows and grows, it's great. You know, I'm not saying I don't want the money. It's flipping lovely. People giving you extra money. It takes a lot of work. It takes me a hell of a lot of time editing videos. But I'm a plasterer. I go to work every day. You know, I make money doing that. So, you know, I already get paid for my own day job. Making these is fun for me to do. And ultimately, now I sort of play the algorithm game, if I'm honest with you. I do genuinely want videos to perform well. It's nice sort of see when you see a video really get a load of views, you know, you think, oh yeah, you know, it's not so much because I know it's going to pay more money, because they do. The more views they get, the more money you get. But it's more, you feel like that people making the videos is hard work. So when you do a video that performs really well, it's like job satisfaction. Does that make sense? You feel like, I've done a video that people like because it's getting lots of views. People are watching it for longer, so the algorithm picks it up and pumps it out to more and more people. So then you go, job well done. So you get a satisfaction feeling from doing it, if that makes sense. So now I do try and make videos, and I do make thumbnails and titles that try and grab attention to try and get more views, because I'm sort of playing that game, if that makes sense. Clint Syker, good to see you. What type of trowel do you use? As I can, yours isn't as wide as normal. I can see yours isn't as wide as normal. And can you recommend a good hawk and trowel? Right, hawk, handboard, mate. Come on, get with the program. I'm a northerner, so it's a handboard up here. Your handboard won't ultimately matter a great deal. I use a Marshalltown handboard. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, if mine snap the handle off tomorrow, I'll just go and buy anything. You know, it doesn't affect anything really. It's just I like the Marshalltown handboards, and I always take that little foam thing as well. Just get rid of that little foam thing. I always say they're for girls, so I just take that off and sling that. Everyone that's got one of those on the handboard now hates me. But yeah, we started off. We used to do it as little jokes. Me and my brother and any apprentices that worked with us, with my dad and what have you, we'd do it like a little joke on each other, take them off each other's handboards and sling them. So then it'd be like, oh, you know, it's uncomfortable. But then I just got used to it, and actually, it's fine now. Your hand sort of gets like a bit of a callus around the top of it, so you don't need the foam pad. Oh, sorry, and the trowels are Marshalltown carbon steel 14x4 inch. Sorry, mate. I went off on a tangent then. Bradley Wakefield, can you spend a few weeks trying the trowel to see if it's any good before you sign? Probably, if I wanted to, mate. Probably. I've I've got one of their trowels, and it's I don't like it. I don't ever use it. In fact, it got demoted to a dabbing trowel, and then it ended up being a floor scraping trowel. And it's not even in my van. I keep a load of trowels in my van. It's not even in the van. It's in here somewhere. I see what you're saying. It's a lot of money to turn down. Yeah, Anthony, take the money and do charity work. Yeah, ultimately, just the thing with it is, I've got to recommend it. Okay, that's the thing for me, and I feel like I'm just full of it. You know, I've got to recommend it. Now, as I said to you, I've got to, when I do the sponsorship things, I recommend them, but I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't use it myself. You know, like I don't want to keep going on about it. I'm actually drinking the stuff, so it actually tastes all right as well. You'll see this in the video. By the way, just so you know, I ain't gonna pay a bean for this. The deal isn't done until they approve my integration on my video. So this, I mean, I'm showing you this now. Don't think I'm plugging it now. I ain't getting nothing for this. So, in fact, they might even see this, and because I've spoke about it, just cancel me contract anyway. It is what it is, isn't it? I'd rather be true to you guys and tell you the score, what's really going on. A 1986, they could have gave me a paint scraper. I'd have said, that's what I plaster with. It's the best on the market. Oh, I'm in the port too, mate. Really like your channel. Oh, spot on, mate. Spot on, a fellow portite. Whereabouts are you, mate? Give us a clue whereabouts in the port you are. No doubt, we flipping know people that know. We all have mutual connections, no doubt. Electric, what trials? Look, I ultimately can't say. PK Property Solutions. It's money you never had, so no real loss. Still hurts to turn it down. Any easy money. Yeah, see, that's the thing though, right? When we say it's easy money, it's ultimately going to be when I'm recommending it every single video, every single week, it's going to be on my conscience that this is a lie, this is a lie, this is a lie. And I think how much sort of my true personality can I inject into a video when I know I'm just bullshitting? I've missed a few comments here. Lukey B. Bennett's keep true to yourself, do what you feel good. Sorry guys, I've flipping missed loads of comments here, so I'm just gonna read these quick. I'm just gonna do a quick fire through these comments so I haven't missed no one out. Oh, by the way, Bradley Wakefield, welcome. You'll get behind the scenes access now, mate. So spot on. Nice to have you on board in the membership program, mate. By the way, what'll happen, Bradley? So, just so you know, mate, all the videos that I edit and put out, you'll get the full amount of unedited footage. So if I make a 20-minute video, it's usually about 2 hours of footage. So all that will just get uploaded, mate. You'll just get to see everything. That's all the behind the scenes stuff. David Harding, hi Kirk, hope you're well. As like most channels now, it's very rare you get comments back, only a thumbs up, as in most cases people would like some sort of written correspondence. Yeah, spot on. Do you know what? That's why I like doing these lives. I like doing these because I know that in these lives, it's only sort of like the genuine viewers that watch them, you know, sort of that. I feel like a lot of the videos, people sort of watch them because they just want a few tips off me and that's the end of it. Whereas I feel like if you watch me lives, then you're actually sort of like me, you know. Don't want to sound big-headed, but if you must sort of like talk, listening to me, sort of thing. So I'm interacting. You know, we have a little chat in the comments section. So I think, well, I'll just tell you, because you know, if we're like mates sort of thing, then we can have a little chat, can't we, about it? AJ, what if OnlyFans got in contact? Mate, I'd sell out. If I could get paid for taking me flipping top off, mate, and getting these fat little titties, I'd do it. Flipping heck. I reckon I'd get paid to keep my clothes on, mate. Ash Alley. Hey, Kirk, you got someone helping you with your website and course offerings online? Yes, I have, mate. I have. I've got a lady, and it just so happens one of my wife's friends, she did a media and marketing course, and she's sort of fresh out of college. So I needed a bit of help with a few technical things, and she said that she's happy to do it. And yeah, great. It's great for her. It's like a learning curve for her. She's been able to apply what she's learned in college, and I don't have to learn things that I know absolutely nothing about. So it's good because I have a few ideas. You know, there's like an email sort of newsletter that I want to get going, and I've got ideas for it, but I just haven't got the skills to do it. You know, I have to individually send emails, and I just give up on it in the end because it's, whereas she knows how to set up email campaigns and do all that stuff and send out mass emails, and she got the Shopify store set up. So, you know, if you look on my videos, it depends what phone you're on. If you're looking through like Android on Google, then you see all my little adverts at the bottom of my videos where you can buy a t-shirt and a mug and all that sort of stuff. She did all of that. She designed these t-shirts. She did it all. Like, she's done everything. She's flipping ace. Pat Link, get The Apprentice on the sponsorship trial. Yeah, that's a good shout, that, actually. He'd have the money, though, wouldn't he? It'd piss me off knowing he's got paid for it. How much did they offer you, mate? It was it gets converted from dollars, so it works out. It's ultimately just around about the 20k mark. They're just under 20 grand, basically, mate. It'll come through in installments. But then I think, well, how much is YouTube going to pay me in the meantime? Because they're also going to have not full control over my content, but every single video, if I did a video that they didn't approve of, let's just say, for instance, in one of my videos, I said the F word or something like that. I mean, not that I would, but if I did something that they didn't like, then that's like a breach of contract and they don't have to pay me. I don't know whether they could actually take the money back off me as well that they'd already paid me. I mean, when these sponsorship deals come through, right, like for the likes of this, for me to talk about their thing for like 60 seconds, they literally send me not a book, but there's about 30 pages of small print to read through with all the clauses and if they break the contract, this and all. I don't even read it. I just go to the end, sign it, and done. And I think if they pay me, great. If I get ripped off, then that's what you get for not reading it. But I mean, yeah, I think it's just a long time to be tied in with somebody that have ultimately got a shout on what I do. Then Jim Martin, you made the right call, bud. Wait until the right sponsor comes along. Lucky B Bennett, keep true to yourself and do what you feel. Kirk, spot on. Thank you, mate. 1986, please buy one of their trials and do your own review of it. Yeah, that might be a good shout. Kicking the teeth for them. Ben Williams, definitely done the right thing, Kurt. Companies like that need you more than you need them. You're a class act, mate. Cheers, Ben. Thank you, mate. Dan Broadhurst, you've done the right thing. Hugh Jundies, you now know what you're worth. Contact the firm that makes the trial and ask for the same deal. Yeah, the trial that I use. I phone Marshalltown up and say, listen, you owe me 20k. They just laugh at me, wouldn't they? Ash Alley, you're so genuine that is in itself will bring you the money. Well, we'll see. Cheers, mate. Ben P, well done, mate. You have good morals. You did what was right and appreciate it. Thank you. Dara Birmingham. Hi, Kirk. If it feels right, go for it. Any tips on getting faster at skimming? Just got on back into it after 10 years off. Thanks, Dara Dublin. Yeah. You already know how to do the job. Slow down. That's what I'd say, mate. Just do what I do. Go slow and focus on technique more than going fast. I just look at, laying it on neater, how much my trials overlap in each stroke, just slow down, take your time, be neater, and that just makes you a lot faster in itself. I literally dawdle the stuff on, but still, I can't say who it is. I was just about to drop his name then. A lad that works with me every now and then, he blasts it on, goes like the clappers. And I just breeze past him every time. I'll be going down one wall, he's on the opposite side of the room, and I'll be gone before he's even. And I'm literally I'm going in slow motion. So technique, mate. Technique beats speed. Bernard Scott, get it while you can, mate, and think of the family. I know that's the other thing as well. I mean, I've got 4 kids, so they're like those little flipping termites in my bank account. James, just take all the sponsors that are not related to your trade, e.g. the drinks and boner pills, etc. Yeah, flipping neck. I'm not going down as the stiffy man, mate. I'm not going to be doing those pills. Look, do you know what? It's mad because I've had loads of other little sponsorship things come through for all sorts of different stuff. Thermal heat cameras. So there's a company called Top Don. Yeah, they sent me a jumpstart pack. So they sent me this pack, and this was a nice little thing because they didn't give me any sort of any. A lot of them send you, like, you've got to say this, you've got to say this, you've got to get these points in. You can't say this, you can't do this. You've got, they give you like a little itinerary of what you can. They even got, look. This is for this one. You get like a little thing that look, these are, I've got to read through all this, all the things that I can and can't say, because ultimately as well, it could break the law for them if I said something that wasn't true, if I did some false advertising on their part. That's why there's so much involved in it, right? So I have to say legit things about when you do the little integrations, which makes it an absolute headache because I don't like reading stuff. I'm a hands-on type of guy, not a flipping, reading through contracts and stuff. It's not really, doesn't make for very interesting reading ultimately. But this Top Don company sent me out this jumpstart pack, and they said, here's the thing, you get to keep one of those, and it can jumpstart your truck or your van or your car. It can jumpstart wagons and all the rest of it, and it charges your phone as well. I just use it as a phone charger. It's just in my van because I've filmed with my phone. It's just plugged into my phone, and it just charges. I can charge my phone up about 100 times off it. It's flipping great. But they sent me another thing, or wanted to, and said, they sent me another email and said, we've got this thermal imaging camera where you can put it on the walls and find where, heat is and cold and all this. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, and we'll send you some money. No, because I wouldn't use it. I've never need it. So I'm not gonna put it on my channel. The tuning box, it's on my van. The drink, I drink it. The Surfshark, I use it. Everything that I've ever done is stuff that I genuinely use. So I've sent back loads of little things, but it's always like little farty bits of money that, whereas that was a flipping good slice. Fat Wallet Boy, I mate, love the videos, but does it add much time onto your day at a customer's house as you film and explain stuff? Yes. Yeah, it does, mate. I've just recorded a video for skimming over a little Artex ceiling, and the video is going to be like the whole my whole thought process when I go into the job, and on why I've decided to skim it, not board it, and what I've done to test it, and just everything that goes, and in a full sort of step by step with me thought process as I go through the whole thing. So I've shot the footage for that. Now I went in and used half time, so that video, I mean that job literally should have took me from start to finish, from getting there, setting up, prepping it, doing the job, should have took me about 2.5 hours, done, cleaned up, gone. And I think I was there for about 5 hours. So just because we were filming. And then what happens with me is, when I'm trying to talk and work, I always get me words muddled. So I seem to be okay. When I do the lives, I don't really get tongue-tied very much, but I'm only talking to you lads, whereas when I'm working and I'm trying to get a point across and I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing at the same time, I get everything mixed up. So I have to do a few takes and sometimes on things to be able to say what I'm trying to be able to get out of here, what's in here. MC Shopping Centre, you're doing it all for the right reasons, mate. Keep enjoying it. Spot on, mate. Thank you very much. Neil. Short. Flipping. Please forgive me if it's not Neil. I'm sure it's Neil. Omar, how's the tuning box going? What's your thoughts? Is it all it's cracked up to be? Notably more mileage, more power. Would you recommend waiting to see how you get on? Yeah, the tuning box. I must admit, where's he gone now? Where's your comment? Just gone. Flipping heck. Sorry, guys. There's that many comments. It's just disappeared. The tuning box, though. Yeah, it's noticeably a lot more powerful, my van. Noticeably. Now, I'm not a fast driver. I don't boot it when I'm driving around. I just drive normal. But if I've got I'll go and pick up pallet of K-Rend and just get it put straight in the back of my van and take it to the thing is, right, so I'll tell you why I do that, but ultimately when you've got a full pallet in your van goes very sluggish. When you've got a pallet of plaster in the back of it, it goes a lot slower. With that tuning box, it pulls away really quick, so it definitely does make my van more powerful. It's meant to make it more powerful and more fuel economic. If I'm 100% truthful with you, I don't look at what the mileage is. I don't look at the cost of it. I don't count the cost at all. I just fill the van to the brim. I run it till it's empty and I fill it back to the brim. I usually fill it once a week, and it usually lasts me a week of going back into to work. With the tuning box, I do feel like I don't go to the garage as often, but I don't know if that's just in my mind. I don't know if I just think that because maybe I'm not doing as many miles and I just feel like that, because I'm not really that asked to check, but it's definitely more powerful. So, Joe Kirky, I've missed a load of comments here out. So if it's something important, just say it again, because what happens is when it gets to loads of comments, it just shoots up, and then I'd have to go back through and try and find out where I was, and it wouldn't make for very good viewing. Just watching me trying to find the comments. So, Kirk, could you do a naked plasterers calendar for charity? We'd all love to see. Flipping sod off. Hey. JG, evening, Kirk. How's it going, Jay? Daniel Wallace. Daniel G. Wallace. All right, Kirk, in 15 years, if your lad comes to you and says, Dad, can I earn 15k, but I have to go against everything I believe, what would you say to him? See, this is why I knew it'd be a good thing to put it to you fellas. And now I'm starting to feel better. CW, Top Don does some good auto stuff. Yeah, but like I said, I genuinely use what they've sent me. But when they sent me the thing about the thermal imaging camera, I genuinely wouldn't use it. So I wouldn't like to come on and crack on that. I do use it when, why the hell would I ever need a thermal imaging camera? Yeah. Well, could always use it in the bed, couldn't I? Under the covers. Philip Evans, Top Don's great. Chop's Garage on YouTube use them, and I always doing giveaways on Top Don gear. Yeah, that I must admit that jump pack they sent it me. So it's about so big, and it'll jumpstart a 7.5 ton wagon. Now my van, I always sort of keep it the battery updated and all the rest of it, so I never really need a jump start. But my neighbour, he's got a big BMW, and he flattened the battery on it, and I went out, literally clicked it on, pressed the button, and said, right, start it. And he didn't have any faith in it because he said he's been trying to get his mate had a transit van up there. They were revving it and all this, trying to get a charge into his battery, and he wouldn't have it. I clicked that little top down pack, just started instantly. Just give us 1 second. Wait 1 second, wait there. What the hell is that? Right. I'm sure there's a cat in here. There's a flipping cat in me. I can hear it scratching. Just wait there because it's driving me nuts. Flipping. I don't particularly like cats very much. My missus, we've got 3 of them. And I try and keep them out of here because they do they leave little presents for me. So just let me just see if I can spot it. Wait there 1 sec. Where are you? Get out. Get out. Come on, out. Get out. Out. Get out. Oh, you're fucking having a laugh. Fucking. It's not a shit. It's shit in my workshop. Stinks. Oh, and by the way, as well, see this live? Yeah, there's adverts on this live. I usually get paid for these, but because I've just said shit, I won't. The monetization for me gets turned off. All right. So just so I'm transparent on that as well, I won't be getting a B now because that little sod's just shit in my workshop and I can smell it in here. AJ, what's the point in cats? I know, mate. I've got 2 dogs. We've got a Spaniel and we've got a Jack Russell. I particularly don't mind the Jack Russell. It's sound. It does its own little thing. It doesn't bother no one. You know, it scrounges food, but ultimately, you know, it's a lazy little sod. It'll just lie down and leave you alone. The Spaniel, that's a different story. That thing destroys anything in the garden. It'll go through the bin and pull the little fella's nappies out and shred them all over the garden. It just causes absolute chaos. The cats, what is the point in cats? I can flipping smell it in here. You boys are just sat there laughing at me, aren't you? It stresses me out, this. Because I say to my missus, get them out of here. And she's like, don't be mean to them. Don't be mean to the animals. I want to boot the thing up the arse. Yeah. I would never be cruel to an animal, by the way. It's not my style. Like, I wouldn't ever want to hurt an animal, but flipping heck, I'd rather just not have them. You know, why do we need cats? They don't do anything. They're only here because we feed them. Huge undies. I like cats, but I couldn't eat a whole one. Felix Brandale. Cheers, AJ. There we go. Let's just get back up these comments section here. Philip Evans, Top Don's great. Oh yeah, sorry, I read that, didn't I? 1982 Deeks. I'm sure the AG1 will mix in well with the Kansas Stella. Do you know what, mate? I say it now for a bit of a joke. I always say, oh, you know, I'll go for a pint after the job and all that. I haven't had any alcohol since just after Christmas. And I'll tell you for why as well. I've been suffering with reflux. Every time I have a few beers, I get reflux. So I enjoy having a pint, by the way. So I'm not like, I'm not one of these teetotalers. I do love drinking beer, but I can't be doing the reflux. It drives me mad. And everyone keeps saying to me, oh, just get on the Lansoprazole. But I don't like medication either. I've got a bit of a thing with not a conspiracy theory, but I don't really like the idea of Western medicine, you know, where they get you popping pills the rest of your life. So I'm trying to swerve that. And if I don't drink beer, I don't get the reflux. all that much. I might if I, if I pig out on like pastry and all that, but if I stay away from fizzy lager, then I don't get it. So I just thought it's a good opportunity for me. If I can't stand the thought of the reflux to not have a pint, then I was thinking, oh well, I could have a Guinness or I could have a vodka and something. I thought, you know what, stuff it. I'll have a bit of a dry spell. So I haven't had any beer. Adam Williams, I started on the AG1 last week. I feel great. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I suppose it's just nice knowing you're getting all the vitamins and minerals and vitamin C and all that, because I eat a lot of crap, I shouldn't do. But since I've hurt my knee, since I've flipping done my knee in, and I've got my torn ACL, and I can't train because I like doing a bit of boxing training or whatever, a bit of running and different things. I've just been getting fatter and fatter since the lad come. You didn't really know me when I was skinny, but not long ago I was built like a racing snake. I was like in good trim condition, but since I've been on YouTube, I just got because I took time out with a little lad, and then I started going training again and tore my ACL, and now I need to go and get an operation ultimately. But because I'm not in training mode, like I'm sort of all or nothing. That's the type of guy I am. So because I'm not training, I'm eating junk food because I just don't really give a monkeys at the minute. But then I think to myself, there is a little bit of my conscience thinking, you should be putting, you don't be starving your body of all the nutrients and minerals and all that, do you? So, great videos. John Walker, buy gold and good luck if you manage to spend it. Too much info, sir. Really enjoyed your bathroom video, your attention to detail. Carrying on even in other trades. Good job. Oh, cheers, mate. Glad you enjoyed it. I wish I could go a bit faster and get more done, but it's just, that's why I've got the temporary shower, because I knew it'd be a long sort of process for me. Like now, I'm back doing a rendering job, so I haven't really got much time to be in the bathroom. The next thing is to plaster it, though. But I'll be honest with you, do you know when you plaster all day, every day? Sort of the idea of coming home for me, I come home and make videos on plastering. Can you imagine, right? You've just done like 7 days skimming, and you've come home every night and you've worked on videos for skimming, and people talk to you and send you emails about skimming, and then you want to start skimming your own bathroom as well. I'm like, makes me feel sick, the thought of it. Ash Ali, is AG1 any good? Yeah, I've noticed that in the daytime, about 10 o'clock, I usually get like a raging, like I'll have my breakfast and then I can't make it to dinner. Like in between, I get really hungry, and I have me little shake usually around then. In fact, I don't even know if I'm allowed to call it a shake. I'll have to check in this. I might not even be allowed to call it a shake. Okay, but that's how literally that's how much is involved in that, in doing them sponsorship things. The terminology that you use, they might not want it called that. They want you to call it that instead. I don't know. But yeah, I have that instead. I have that, and then I'm all right then till dinner time. So I mean, I don't think there's that. I don't think there's any calories in it, or there's very little calories in it. So I don't know how that works, filling me up, but it does. Andrew Sutcliffe, I was talking to my builder friend about plaster cracking. He mentioned that he's seen it a lot in recent times and believes it's happening since they moved their manufacturing plant. What do you think? Interesting you should say that, mate, because I've been sent a few little WhatsApps and stuff and emails of people saying that they've done some plastering, they've scrimmed all the joints, but every single joint is cracked. They've dabbed it properly. And what are my thoughts on it? And I must admit, I haven't really experienced it myself, but I did see it the other day when I did a job for a customer, and there was some plastering been done there, and every joint had cracked on him. He'd told me. So I don't know. I can't get my head around how that would actually work, but yeah, that seems to be a thing at the minute. It's just you're confirming it, because I've heard of a few cases and now you're mentioning it as well. So Brandon Hockenholt, when was the general change made from lime to gypsum plaster? Love the vids, mate. the change, I believe, was made around about, I'm going to say early sort of 60s, late 50s, early 60s, because they introduced plasterboard. It must have gone on for about 10 years, maybe, because they introduced plasterboard, and there's a lot of houses with lime plaster on plasterboard. So it must have been around about that sort of time. And I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but in my mind, it doesn't make sense that we switched from using lime-based products to gypsum-based products. Well, I need to explain this properly, because you can gauge lime plaster with gypsum. That's where they used to call it gauge stuff. That's where the term a gauge of plastering comes from, because you'd get your lime plaster and you'd put so much, plaster, genuine gypsum plaster that sets, like plaster of Paris, casting plaster, whatever you want to call it. They would put a certain amount of that in the lime plaster, and it would set it faster rather than letting it, do it itself by the carbonation, I think it's called, in the air. So the fact is, though, lime plaster, I believe, is a lot better. It's nicer to use. It's breathable. So it's just a better product. So I think, in my mind, that we introduced like gypsum-based plasters and cement, Portland cement as well. Both of those products, they hold moisture. You suffer with damp, don't you? Whereas you never really heard about that so much with lime. So in my mind, planned obsolescence is something that comes to mind, when you think, has this been introduced to create repeat work further down the line, so that something will last so long and then start to deteriorate, and then we have to, go around fixing things, and there's a whole industry of damp proofing been invented. I don't know. There's a lot of different opposing thoughts on it. And ultimately, I haven't looked into it a great deal, but it is something that I think about from time to time. Why don't we go back to using lime? Interesting thing as well, there will be a video coming soon on lime plastering, because I'm currently speaking to a company that they're doing a new innovative, and I can't even say the word. You'll have to just trust me on it. They're doing something with lime anyway. They're reintroducing it, and it's going to work. It's going to be easy to make a transition, because the setting times are going to be very similar to what we're used to using with our board finish and multi-finish. So we'll see how that goes anyway. I haven't used the stuff yet. I've got the bags out here in the workshop. I haven't yet used them. But when I do, we'll be doing a video on it, and we'll see. We'll do like a little review on it first, and then I would like to see lime plaster used a lot more extensively than what it is. So if I like the stuff and it goes quite well, and I think that it'd be an easy transition, I'll probably promote it quite a bit more. But we'll see first. I'll have to use it and see how I get on with it, Richard Grave, with working all week and some weekends plus family commitments, do you get time for any hobbies or interests? No, ultimately, mate, not at the minute. No, I did it for a long time. I did a lot of mountaineering. I used to go to Snowdonia in Wales and climb mountains literally every weekend for a couple of years. I used to love doing that, but since doing my knee in, see, ultimately, I probably would make time for hobbies and stuff, but since I've hurt my knee, I can't go mountaineering, I can't go boxing. So I'm sort of like, I don't really, the only other hobby I used to have was go in the pub, but my reflux has stopped that. It's sort of like all me things I enjoy are all being cut off one by one out of my life. I've only got me YouTube videos left, and I've just cancelled a big sponsorship deal. Oh, what's next? Flipping it, may as well chop me little pecker off next, mightn't I? No more fun for Kirk ever again. Hi Kirk, how's it going? Do you ever suffer with your back with plastering, like sciatica or anything like that? No, I do get a null ache in the bottom right hand side of my back from time to time, and I find if I push my thumb into it, it sort of relieves the pressure there a little bit right at the bottom. I know some fellas drive home with a tennis ball behind the back, right at the bottom of the back. It always seems to be the same place. You know where your coccyx are? I'll tell you what it is. Where your waistband sits on the right hand side of the lower back, where your waistband sits there, and if I push my thumb into it, it's like just relaxes a bit. But that's only if I've been working hard all day. I have 100% fine now. It's done it again. Sorry, because you boys are commenting and I'm not reading them fast enough. It's just shot up again, so I've just missed a load more comments out. Sorry, guys. Paul's Trade, just a daft lad from the East Midlands. Jackie, take it we all know what trial to buy and use means you can help more people out that needs it, mate. Spot on. Mr. Arbuckle, Danny Arbuckle, evening, mate. How is it? Oh, Danny, are you going to Edinburgh? I'm gonna go to Edinburgh, mate. I'm on. I'm flipping going, Danny. So if you're going, I'll see you there. For any of you lads that don't know about it, there's another channel on YouTube called Trial Talk, and it's a fellow called Stuart Roberts. Absolutely lovely guy. And he's got a Facebook group, and I'm in his group. Now I don't do loads on Facebook, and I don't really get involved that much, but I'm in his group, and we have little chats and everything. And he organises every year like a plasterers meetup for people that are in his group, in his Facebook group. And they're going to Edinburgh, and I've been invited. And Eric, my mate Eric's going to go as well. So there's going to be a little meetup. I'm going to shoot up to Edinburgh, and I'll probably break me drinking fast for that as well. And we'll have a few scoops up there. Richard Kirk, just stick to your guns, follow your instinct. You already said no, and that's that. Yeah, spot on, mate. I'm glad. I just wanted to make me feel like I've made the right decision anyway, and I feel like I have ultimately. It's just nice when someone tells you you've done the right thing there, mate. L-glutamine, hi Kurt. Question: here in Holland, there are some vids explaining plastering and cutting in edges is a thing, sort of like what they do in concrete to control the cracks. Is this BS or because I saw you taping your edges and sealing instead of disconnecting the surface? You connect them. Right, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, in the UK, we want this like a seamless finish. All the ceilings and walls are all tied in. So we put mesh in the corners to reinforce the corners and seal them together. I'm assuming that what you're saying is that they don't, and where that crack, they actually make it like what we would call over here like an expansion joint, where the walls can move independently of each other and not crack in the corner. So I wouldn't know nothing about that because we just don't do it like that over here, mate. TT innovative initiative. I don't know. I can't even read today, mate. I don't know what's going on with me. Tommy Gunn. And the funny thing, gypsum is mined from the ground, and when we put old plasterboard in the skips, it too has to be segregated. I know. That's another thing. It's like you can't contaminate landfill with plasterboards that's made from gypsum plaster, but yet gypsum is pulled out the ground, and farmers spread gypsum on the fields. Get your noodle around that. Aaron Pavelis. I use lime here in Virginia, USA, so I can't wait to see your future experience with it. Yep, sound. I'm looking forward to doing it, mate. You'll have to give me a few pointers when I'm using it. Ben P. Can't beat a lime render mix, breathes and still repairs to an extent. That's what I'm saying. It heals itself as well. I mean, the Romans used lime. Look at all the old buildings that we've still got. Things that were built in the 1300s, the 1400s, the 1500s, and it's all lime plaster. There's a lot of buildings in Liverpool that are built in the 1800s, and it's all lime internally. There's a lot of Portland cement facades, the front of the buildings. There's a lot of them done in Portland cement. But even still, the plastering work inside them is, it's great. And then you look at what we've got nowadays, people using, board finish and multi-finish, going to new homes, it's all cracked and moving and falling apart. And you think, I don't know, planned obsolescence. Start using that word a lot, or that phrase a lot. Kevin Willoughby is lime plaster, caustic, so potentially dangerous to apply. Yeah, there is that to it. It flipping burn your eyeballs out your head if you get some in your eye. I've used plenty of lime when I'm rendering. I'm quite fortunate in a sense. I don't seem to get lime burns or cement burns. I know some fellas, they only have to get a bit on their arm or on the leg, and they come out in big red flipping sores and stuff. I've used lime loads of times. Hydraulic lime and hydrated lime when I'm rendering outside. I've done a few lime jobs, internal lime jobs, not many. Only I could probably count on my fingers and toes how many internal lime jobs I've done. This lime that I'm going to be using is a different product. They've done a bit more engineering with this stuff, so it's not like your NHL 3 or your NHL 5 or your hydrated lime. It's these have put. I don't know what they've done to it. I don't know. I haven't even read the back of the bags yet. It's in here, but it's a different game altogether. So we'll have to just see how that comes out. But yeah, when I use lime, I've never worn any protective equipment, and I've got it on me, and I don't seem to suffer with getting burns and what have you off it. I've had plaster in my eye. Amount of times I've skimmed ceilings and I've had big blobs of board finish land in my eyes and all sorts. And I know lads, they get it in their eye and they have to go to hospital and have it washed and they can't see for a couple of days. I literally just rinse my eyes out. I'm okay. I don't know if it's sort of like I'm immune to the stuff, but I don't seem to suffer with cement burns or lime burns or plaster in the eye. Doesn't seem. I've never had all I've ever had is the worst. I had plaster in my eye and the grit of it scratched my eyeball once, and every morning for about 3 or 4 days, I'd wake up and I'd have to my eye be stuck together with like gunk, and I'd have to go, boop, I can see you now. Supercharged G60. Good evening, Kirk. How's it going, mate? Simbo, do your shoulders ever lock up through plastering? No, to be fair, mate, no. Too much info, Sir Kirk. Your SBR video was a good one too. I'd love some videos on additives like plasticizer or waterproofer. Too much, too little, and tests. As a DIYer, I do wonder how half a cap per 25 kilogram works. Yeah, so when you're saying half a cap, I'm sure you're talking about Feb mix, no doubt. So it's an air entrant. It's like it just basically introduces air into the mix, like puts little bubbles in there, microscopic ones, so it makes it lovely and fluffy to use. I don't really bother with Feb. Whenever I use sand and cement, I pretty much stick to about the same thing. Now, the softer the background that you're going over, you should do a weaker mix, really. And your coats, as you build them out, if you're doing 1, 2 coat or 3 coat work, should get gradually weaker as you go out with sand and cement. I genuinely stick to roughly the same ratio all the time. I use a 4-to-1 mix, and I don't use Feb. I just use waterproofer, and it also works as an air entrance. It also makes the stuff nice and workable. So, if I'm dashing, then I'll use lime instead because it makes the background a bit lighter. It's nicer to look at. In fact, if I'm dashing, I try and talk the customers just because I think it looks so nice into using white cement and lime, and there's no waterproof and no Feb. It's just literally white cement and lime. I tell you what was quite nice as well. I did a job and it was a dashing job, and for the top coat we used red building sand with white cement and lime, and when we were mixing it, it literally looks like you're mixing a bucket of finish. It's a lovely pink color and it dries a lovely light pink, and that, when you have Canterbury Spar, if you know what Canterbury Spar is, it can look quite miserable on a sand and cement background. It looks quite dull. But white cement with red sand A lot of fellas won't want to use red building sand. It's not really the best thing to be rendering with. Should be using like a sharp sand or a wash sand. But as a top coat for me dash to receive the dash, it really sets it off quite nice. I'll have to. Do you know what? If I think on, I'll do a video on that at some point. Robin Upton, how you doing, Robin? I'm sure this is the Robin Upton that I know as a builder who knows me apart. Let me know if it's the right Robin. I'm sure it is. Thomas Musker, dude, you should strive to be a sellout. I'm a carpenter, and if a product came along that worked and I had the chance to shill it my word, I'll be a talker and put my saws away. Yeah, to be honest with you, mate, if I do genuinely use the product and I do like it, then I will. But the thing is, they're talking about trowels. We're talking about literally my main tool, like it's a plasterer's trowel. It's like it's almost like an extension of my arm. Yeah, it's not a brand that I use. It's not a trowel that I use. It's not a size trowel that I like to use. They don't even make the size trowel that I like using. So ultimately, I've said no. John Almond, back in the early 80s, as a labourer, when mixing internal render, I had to add lime to the mix. I hated it when it was windy, chucking it in the mixer. Oh, yes. Hey, because it takes your breath literally out of your chest. When you get that cloud of lime in your face, mate, it literally takes your breath away, doesn't it? You're like, I've had it loads of times. It happens a little bit of Portland cement when you're tipping cement in, but yeah, lime is a completely different beast when it comes to getting a good lung full of that. Not recommending this, by the way. In case any young lads are watching this, don't go and breathe lime and just see what it's like. It's like when it comes, you have to watch what you say on the internet because people can take it the wrong way. I've scraped hundreds, if not thousands, of Artex ceilings, and we used to do it just day in, day out, no masks, just open the window and scrape away. And now there's a massive thing with asbestos, and people, the minute you even talk about an Artex ceiling, literally people lose their shit going wild about asbestos. I mean, so I have to be careful because I'll say, "Oh, denib the ceilings," and people, no, don't touch it, Flipping heck. Brad O'Ikirk, sad news here in west of Ireland. Young lad 23 put his arm into a cement mixer, shredded to bits, and got pulled off from the shore. Oh, flipping heck. Oh, that's not good. I'll tell you the funny story about cement mixers, actually. Sorry to hear about your mate there. I'm gutted for that young lad. 23 years of age, losing his arm. That's flipping. I hope somebody's set him up a GoFundMe page, just to help the lad out a little bit as well, because that's a life-changing injury, losing an arm, isn't it? Poor fella. But I'll tell you, accidents with cement mixers. The amount of times I've had a shovel when I was a young apprentice, throwing stuff in the mixer, and it sticks to the back. So you get your shovel and you want to stab it. Well, you don't do that actually, but you stab it in the mixer, because if you belt the side of the mixer with the spade or the shovel and you put dints in it, like your dad will batter you. So what you want to do is you stab and hit the back of the mixer to make the stuff that's stuck at the back fall in, so it gets mixed in. But if you're not quick enough, one of the fins will catch hold of it and it'll spin it round, take the legs from under you, or hit you in the side of the head. But we were doing this job, and I must have been, I don't know, about 17 at the time. And it was a big old diesel cement mixer up on a stand, and it had a wheel on the side, and you turn the wheel, it tips it out. And the drum on it is, I mean, I could fit inside the drum. It was massive, absolutely huge, this thing. And what we were doing was the sand got dropped further away from where we were doing the job. So you'd fill the mixer up, mix it, and then my dad was pouring footings. We were building these gate posts, like this bit of a wall, and then gate posts, and then rendering it, and it's for my dad's mate at the time. So we've mixed this full mix of concrete, and we've pulled it over, me and my dad, and I'm on the inside. And as we've got close to the footing to turn the handle to tip it in, the mixer, the ground started going. The ground started to collapse with this full cement mixer. So I've gone to jump out the way, but my dad can see what's happening. But before I've jumped, he's seen and hasn't realised I've noticed. So he's tried to kick me. He's got hold of the mixer and he's tried to boot me, right? So I'm trying to go that way and he's trying to kick me that way. Both at the same time. Poof. So he literally kicked me into the footings and the flipping mixer landed on top of me. So, get it off me. So I didn't realise. I've finally got out of the hole, you know, flipping heads bashed in, my arms bashed. I was all right, you know, I carried on working for the day, but I'm like kicking off at him. Why did you kick me into the footy? I thought he had sent me in and pushed the mixing in on me or something. my dad used to lose his temper, like you get a crack every now and then. So it wasn't something that I'd sort of put past him. I thought, in my mind, I'm thinking he just kicked me in the footy and pushed the mixer on me. Oh. Flipping, you're going to be careful, haven't you? It's a dangerous place to building sites. Where are we up to? Omar. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what new line plaster is like when you get using it. Definitely, mate. Ostap Kerpenko. Greetings from Germany. Spot on, mate. Eine große beer bitter. Whereabouts in Germany are you from, mate? My favourite place to go is Baden-Baden in the Black Forest. By the way, the German people, I think, are fantastic people. Dead straight, no messing around, nice and polite. If there's one place I love holidaying, it's the Black Forest. You get treated with respect and manners. Nobody's trying to blag you. Nobody's trying to sell you things. It's not like when you go to, you know, hot countries where they're trying to drag you in and giving your kids stuff and trying to blag you into selling stuff. The Black Forest is literally gorgeous. Nice climate, nice beer. In fact, nice beer. It's the best beer in the world. Beautiful food, fantastic service, immaculate surroundings. You live, mate, I'm jealous of you. You live in the most beautiful country, in my opinion. Glutamine. Did you have fun with Mr. Bisbee and was it what you hoped it to be? Yeah, do you know what? Roger is a flipping lovely fella. I know there's on his channel. I don't really watch other construction channels, just being honest with you, is on YouTube. For me, I've been plastering since I was like 11 years old. So I'm not saying I've seen it all, but I've seen enough of it that I don't want to come home and start watching more construction, you know. So I don't really watch that much building and that sort of stuff on YouTube. I watch other stuff, you know. I like watching Combat Crew, which is a Russian channel. Right, the Combat Crew. I can't even understand what they're saying. It's all in Russian, right? It does me. It's mind numbing. I just watch it, and they do like they get like big machines stuck in the bogs, you know, in Russia, and then they dig them out with other machines, and I just like watching that. When we did this thing, me and Roger, I watched a few of his videos, and I've seen in the comments people giving him stick on his plastering and stuff, and that's what they said to me when they messaged me. You know, we want to come and do a video with you for plastering. Roger gets stick off plasterers all the time when he does plastering, so we'd like to do a video. So I've seen that there's a bit of stuff going on there. And I must admit, when you watch Roger's videos, he comes across one way, but when you meet him in real life, I'm not saying he doesn't come across good on his videos, but he's not the same in real life, if that makes sense. In real life, he's sound on his videos, but he's more of a sound fella when you really meet him, you know. He's funny. I mean, bear in mind, the fella's 71, maybe nearly 72. He's sharp as a knife, you know. He's bright as a button. He's fit. I mean, he's fitter than me. Genuinely, I'm not joking. He's fitter than me. He's in great condition, and he's quite a funny guy. I had a good laugh with him. The night before we did the video, they come to Ellesmere Port, and they stayed in a hotel. And I went out with them to a pub the night before. I didn't drink. Before anyone thinks I'm telling lies, I just went there and had Coca-Cola. But we had a meal and we had a good laugh as well. He's funny, and his mate who comes with him, his Hoppo, Dylan, he's top class. You don't see Dylan. Maybe you see him on the videos, I don't know, but he's the camera guy. You hear his voice every now and then. He's a funny fella. To be fair, they were a good crack. I enjoyed it. I'd like to do more stuff with them as well. They are sound, to be fair. But I know he gets a bit of hate as well, which I don't know. I suppose I get a bit as well. You know, I've had trolls in the past, but I say, bring it on, bitches. Give me everything you've got. Hey, there's nothing you can say to me on here that'll upset me. I have to go in there with my missus, right? And she knows my missus cuts me throat with her tongue, right? Some of the things she says. So there's nothing you boys can say to me to upset me. I'm big enough and ugly enough to take it. Where are we up to? Thomas Musker. I was also going to say, I love the way you guys in England smooth the gear. God, I'm always covered in toxic dust constantly for a small ceiling repair. Fair play. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Magu, who have you got that trowel ready for me yet, mate? Wait, it's on its way. I don't want to send you something that I don't believe is spot on, mate. So, just for any guys that don't know, we sold 4 trowels off. Raffled one and sold 3 off, and the link that was supposed to switch off after so many trowels didn't switch off. The reason being, when we set it up, it was supposed to be like when you run out of stock, it stops selling them, but you can't set that for such a small amount of stock. So we were meant to switch it off. I'll take full responsibility for this. I'm not blaming anybody else, but we were supposed to monitor it, and once the 3 had been sold, turn the link off. But ultimately, a few guys bought things quite quickly, and a few people slipped through the net and bought trowels that weren't actually worn in ready yet. So I've been working my little knackers off trying to get trowels worn in for the few people that slipped through the net. I don't want to send you something that is substandard, mate. So I could set, I've got trowels there now. I could just send them, but ultimately, I don't think that they're ready to do a nice job yet. So it's nearly there. I know it's taking longer than I said, but I don't want to. Look, you know the score. I don't want to send you something that I wouldn't put my name behind and say that's ready to use, mate. But it's on its way, mate. Don't worry. Brandon Hockenhull, I bet you're amazing at spreading icing on a cake. Yeah, mate. I've heard that saying probably a million times. Every single customer in the world said that to me. Alan Oliver, when's part 2 of the bathroom out? Well, Alan, where you've seen up to now, mate, that's where I'm up to. I literally, after I made that video and posted it the other day, I've done literally nothing else in the bathroom since then. So the next thing I need to do is plaster it, which potentially will get done soon, and then I'll make a video on that, and then it'll part 3 will be coming out as well once I start tiling it and fitting it. But it's one of them. I've got to, I work full time. I've got the YouTube to do. I've got the sales and marketing course that I do. Jump on these lives. I'm busy. I'm busy. I get this stick from the missus as well. She's like, "Come on, just get on with it." I'm like, "Look, you've got a shower in the workshop. We've got a toilet down here. I've put a temporary toilet back in the house. We've got a kitchen sink. We've got a sink behind me. We're okay, I say, "Calm down, babe. But okay, stop rushing me. I want to do a nice job." So, as soon as it's done, though, mate, you will be straight away updated with a video. Simbo, what's easier, plastering or rendering? Sorry for all the questions. The comments disappeared. Now it's shut up again. Flipping heck. Easiest thing in the world to do, mate. I would say it's going to be easier to render something if you're going to pattern the render. So, for instance, putting a bit of sand and cement on the wall and tapping it with the brush pattern is going to be easier than skimming a wall. Let me see if I can just find up some comments. There we go. I'm back to where I was again. Moist, what time is it? It's just gone 10:30. All right. Tell you what, lads, I'm starving. I know I've had my little shake, but I haven't had my tea, and it's getting on for me tea. So I'm going to have to go and get something to eat in a minute. And I'm going to miss the kebab shop if I don't hurry up. So I'm giving the game away, but I'm going to have a kebab for tea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blitz through these comments quick and then go and order myself a nice heart attack in a flipping pita bread. Mostin Martinez. Hi, Kirk. Hope you're well from Dublin. Thank you very much. You're a gentleman. Thomas Musker, true. Jordan, hey Kirk, any advice on skimming over timber when there's not enough depth between the timber and the surface to plasterboard it first? don't do it, mate. There is a little trick, a little way around it, but it's not textbook. But I wouldn't advise you do it. You can actually get, depending on where you are, you think 9.5 mil boards the finished. You can go thinner than that, mate. There is a board. I don't know how many mil it is. I think it's a 6 mil board that you can get. It's a specialist board. I don't know whereabouts in the country you're based, but there's a company in Liverpool called FS Trade. They do a thinner plasterboard again. You'd be better off using that. If you wanted a little trick of how to get around it, I'll tell you a little trick that I do from time to time. And it's a bit cowboy, really. So I shouldn't really flipping broadcast this, but it works. Do you know when you're skimming over old buildings and they've got the dowels in the corners, the old wooden beads in the corners? If you should really take them out and then fill them up with back coat plaster and skim them. But sometimes when you pull them out, they're attached to little wooden. Well, they're all attached to little wooden plugs in the wall. And say you're doing a chimney breast and you pull them out, you can end up losing all the plaster off the whole chimney breast, which can open a whole can of worms. And if the customer agrees, because they want to try and keep the cost to a minimum, and they want you to leave them in because they don't want to go down the route of it all falling off and all the rest of it, the little trick that I use is duct tape over the corner bead first, put duct tape over it, and then scrim over that, and then SBR over the whole lot of it, and then bead it and skim it. I've never had a comeback on doing that. It always seems to have worked. So I'm not recommending you go and do it. Please don't give me stick in the comments. I know it's not textbook. I'm just telling you, I've done it a few times and it works. What happens is when the timber gets wet, it'll expand with the wet plaster. And then over time, as the plaster sets, it'll stay still, and then the timber will shrink when it dries out, but the plaster's already set, so then you get a crack. So it's not good to plaster over timber. In certain situations, though, I understand, but if you can try and do it with the plasterboard, you'd be much better off, mate. Matty, you good, pal? I am, mate. Thank you for asking. Has the missus changed her mind about the shower? Yes. Ultimately, mate, I was having a laugh, really. They give me stick, but it's tongue-in-cheek. You know, they tell the friends, oh, he's making us shower in the shed, you know. I mean, it's not really a shed. It's a proper building that we're in. It's all nice and insulated and heated and all the rest of it. So it's okay in there. It's cozy enough for them. I mean, ultimately, she's got a cat shit in there now she's got to deal with. So I'm going to go in the house in a minute and tell her she better get in there and clean up after the cats. Robert Upton, Jay Bell sent me the video you did with Roger Bisbee. Proud to know you, Kirk. You never stop grafting, top lad. I knew it was you, Robin. How are you, my mate? Yeah, spot on. I seen Jay Bell, actually. I was with Jay Bell the other day in the Builders Merchants. He popped up behind me. Simbo, I can plaster, but I find rendering hard to level. Yeah, because depending on what you're doing, see, there's different types. There's different processes for rendering depending on what you're doing. So depending on what the job is, skimming could be easier. Ultimately, yeah, it's hard to sort of put your finger on, mate, unless we know exactly what you're talking about. You know, which type of rendering you're doing. RHTR, hi Kirk, can I use Gyprock Ready Mix joint cement on drywall with some of the leftovers of the old wallpaper? I've cleaned the surface as much as I could and put PVA on it already, or maybe multi-finish. Right, so what you're saying is you've got walls that have been dry lined and then they've been papered, and you've tried to get all the paper off and there's some stayed on, and now you want to go over it with plaster. Ultimately, I would spend more time trying to get the paper off, because as soon as that gets wet, it'll start bubbling. As soon as you put wet plaster on that paper, it will start bubbling to come off. I tell you what was surprising, when you put the PVA glue on, PVA glue is great for getting old wallpaper off. So when you're prepping a job and the customer's left bits of wallpaper on and you're trying to wet it to get it off, it could be a bit of a pain. If you PVA it, don't do it with SBR. SBR is a bit different. But if you PVA it, the PVA will soak into the paper and it will come off easier. So the good thing for you is PVA stays it's water-based. So if you actually wet it again, even though you've sealed the boards with PVA now, it'll still come back tacky again. So I'll just wet the areas with the paper and see if you can try and get it off, mate. I mean, if it's not coming off and you're going to wreck the boards, then maybe take a chance. One way you could get round it, again, it's not textbook, it's a little bit cowboy to do it. When you put plaster on wallpaper, I mean, don't go and do full walls covered in wallpaper, but I've turned up in the past to jobs where there's little bits of wallpaper still on and it won't budge, it will not come off, and I'm on a tight time scale and it just won't come off at all. You wet it, you PVA'd it, you scraped it, and it's flipping waterproof wallpaper or something, you know, it's got vinyl on it, something, so it won't soak into it. What I have done in the past, which I'm not proud of, but it's worked, is gone and put a little bit of finish over it and gone off, skimmed something else, let that set. Once it's set, then skimmed over it again, because then it's not going to be able to bubble because the plaster holds it straight. Making myself sound like a cowboy, aren't I? I'm just telling you, in the real world, sometimes, depending on the job you're on, sometimes you come across different situations, and that's how I've got over it in the past. But just try and get the paper off. Much better job, and you'll be able to sleep at night with no comebacks. Seadas, I would like to see you explain lime plaster in a video. Just bought an old cottage. All videos seem a boring old gits that blabber on with no actual content. Yeah, I do a bit of blabbering on as well, mate. So hopefully I don't disappoint you when we do the video. Danny Arbuckle, I'm going to try, mate, 100%. Danny, don't start that, mate. Don't you be letting me down. We'll go and get Arbuckled. Supercharged. I've seen. Oh, by the way, Danny, as well. I've seen you on social media with your hot chick. Hey, fair play, mate. You look happy as well, Danny. So top stuff, mate. Supercharged G60. Really prefer you using Marshalltown like myself. I like using Tyzac trowels. Don't blame you saying no to it. Yeah, spot on, mate. Thank you very much. I like Tyzac as well. I like the position of the handle further down the trowel. I like the way it's longer and short at the bottom. The only thing that made me fall out of love with Tyzac trowels is they've got a bit of a curl. You know, when you look at the toe of the trowel, it's curved a little bit, and I use the toe quite a lot for getting in little tricky places, and it's not giving me a true surface. So I like using Marshalltown because it's flat, Graham W. I've had an old diesel mix on its side in 1991. Mikey G, hello from Ireland. How you doing, Mike? Too much info, sir. Hello, currently trying to learn German. Kaffee und Milch is better. Is where I'm up to. Kaffee und Milch bitte. Yeah. Coffee and milk, please. I hope I've got that right. When I was in the Black Forest at some point, I think I was in a Baden or something. We're on our way to a restaurant, and I was getting out. I fly into Stuttgart and I usually just fly to Stuttgart, get a one-way flight, hire a car from Stuttgart and drive to the Black Forest, and then we just holiday, stay wherever we like the look of, and then just drive the car back and take it back to the airport and fly back home again. Now, at the time, I must have been about 19 stone. This was a good few years ago, I really piled the weight on. My head was like a pumpkin. I was just a big fat sod. And I was getting out of the car, and it was they only had a little BMW. And I was getting out of the car, and some German fella stopped and pointed at me. And what did he say? Grosser man, kleiner Auto or something. He basically said, like, big man, little car. Just taking the piss out of me with a big cheesy grin on his face because he could see me struggling because the shape of the seats are like bucket seats. I'm like trying to like pull myself out this car. Flipping horrible. Adam Phillips. Hi Kurt, great vids. Do you use cement as to speed up the plaster? Seeing videos of plasterers using it. No, I don't, mate. I have done in the past. I've tried it. I've done it. I tried to get a little system where we gauge it and measure it. But what you'd find is different brands of cement would accelerate at different speeds. And ultimately, I just come to the assumption, one, it weakens the plaster, but two, which isn't really an issue. I mean, weakening the plaster is not really a great issue really. But it's unpredictable ultimately. It's like using dirty water in your mix. I've done that as well. And my old fella used to piss in the mix as well. You know, I'd be mixing up, he'd just flipping get his pecker out and start pissing in the bucket. You know, I'm like 13 years old mixing it. It's like flipping, it's like abuse. You probably go to jail for that nowadays, but you just lash it out and pee in the mix because it sets it off quicker. So all these different things we've done over the years, cement, piss, you know, you name it, it's gone in the plaster, but unpredictable. This stuff, again, doesn't pay me for. This stuff is measured out. Literally, you can, I mean, they do it for, you know, I will plug his thing for him. That stuff, they do it for bonding. You get, so you can set your back coat plaster off. And then he sends me these as well. I don't like these though. Extra time. I don't want it to set slower. I want it to set faster. But he sends me like a little assortment of them. With that, I know exactly where I am. I know exactly. It's like the timing. You know, if I it's you want consistency. You don't want to do something and then it not be the same next time you do it. You know. So that's why I try and stay away from putting cement in the mix, and I don't really like recommending it. I mean, I could do it. I probably wouldn't struggle with it because if the stuff goes off fast, and I'm capable of going quicker and getting it done. But I wouldn't want to be recommending it to everybody to do it. It's just. Then people come back saying, "Oh, you said this, and it all went wrong, and it all fell off," and then I'd feel a bit shit, you know. So, where are we up to? Flipping it. There's how many flipping comments in here, lads? Right. Skater guy, Danny Arbuckle, that game made me feel nauseous that night. Poo Pot, don't forget to give Kirk a like, guys. Yes, sound, give us a like as well. Appreciate it. In fact, you usually say, right, look, I'd usually say, like this video, give me a few likes on it because it helps the algorithm, which means I get more viewers on it, which ultimately means more adverts get seen, which means I get paid more. But because I've been swearing about cat shit and all that, my video is already, it'll be demonetized. I won't get paid for it. So give me a thumbs down if you want. If you don't like me, you give me a little thumb down instead. Pizza Boy UK. Hi, mate. Do you watch DJ projects on? No, I don't, mate. Sorry. Michael Reynolds. I tell you, I like watching Colin Furze because he digs tunnels, and I don't know why I find that fascinating, but I do. I like watching him dig tunnels for some weird reason, and I like him because he's got a Toyota Hilux Mark III, like me. I've got is a Mark II. I don't know. He's got an old Hilux, but I've got one as well, so I like him for that. That's the main reason I like him, because he's a Toyota nerd like me. I love Toyotas. I watch Combat Crew. I like watching. There's another channel called Heavy D Sparks. I like watching them. I don't know why. I like watching Heavy Recovery. Sounds sad saying this. I like trucks and stuff. You know, I like watching like Outback truckers and that sort of stuff. That's what I like to watch. And music videos. I don't really watch anything else on YouTube. And I'm a bookworm as well, boys. I love reading. I mean, I've got my bookcase out. This is only half my books. The other half are in the toilet because I read when I'm good use of time. And it while she just sat there for 20 minutes, you may as well read a book as well. So there's a load of books piled up in there, but no one else will touch them. Michael Reynolds, Mad One, Graham W. You at the Portways, are you? Yes, mate, I am. Cheshire Oaks, literally a stone's throw from my house, mate. I'm on the posh side of town, the Stanley Grange. So if you've ever seen Shameless, fellas, if you don't know where the Stanley Grange is, if you've ever seen Shameless on TV, very, very similar where I live. Mike G, how's the bathroom? Eddie Gilks, hi Kirk, I'm doing my bathroom as well. Ripped it all out and discovered there's been a leak under the bath. Having to take the whole floor up, back to the joists. Nightmare. Enjoyed your bathroom video. Yes, well, at least you're going to do it nice, mate. Take the whole floor up and put your plumbing under there as well. If you can, it keeps it all out of the way, won't it? No boxing ins and what have you. Michael Reynolds, you're the soundest of them all. Genuine top grade work, top dude. Cheers, mate. You're fucking spoiling me, mate. Thank you very much. James Wallace, how do you wear them in? I'm assuming you talking about the trowels. I use them, mate. I use them. I give them. One of the very first videos I did was me rubbing my trowel on the concrete floor to sort of start the blade off a little bit. I do that, which is a bit of a ball ache, to be honest with you, because it takes a long time and it's quite mind-numbing, just literally kneeling on the floor, just giving the trowel a rub on the concrete floor. I know some fellas say use an oil stone and all that, but I haven't got the patience, and ultimately I can get quite big strokes on the floor and do it quite quick. So the only thing with it is the floor in my workshop, it's probably gone down about 2 millimeters doing it. And then I use them for loads of sand and cementing, loads of K-rend, hard troweling, polishing, and ultimately then I start skimming with them as well. So Poopot Kirk, I have to build up a 9-inch brick wall to about 2 inches thick base back coat. Do you do this in 2 stages? Does the second coat need to be weaker than the first coat? What ratios do you use? Any advice? Many thanks. Yeah, ultimately, it depends what you're going over, though, to how strong you want the mix. If you're going over solid brickwork, you could start with a 3-to-1 mix, and then come out maybe 3.5-to-1 and 4-to-1. And ultimately, your sand and cement, when it dries, is going to shrink a little bit and crack. So you want to give your coats a chance to, if you're going to go on that thick, you could scratch coat one day and top coat the next day. But if you're building up that sort of thickness, you might want to give the coats a chance to literally dry out as well, because they'll shrink a little bit, and all the shrinkage and the cracks will be in the back coats, if that makes sense. It's not cracking like it's going to fall off. It's more cracking like when you see a desert landscape, when the ground's dry and it's shrunk and there's splits in the ground. So you want that to happen at the back, not on the surface. So if you did one coat one day, one coat the next day, another coat the day after, and say you built up like this sort of thickness in a couple of days, then when it dries out, it might start to shrink. You might get crazing all over it. So that's just something to bear in mind. Maybe do a few coats, let it all dry out and shrink and what have you, and put plenty of waterproofer in it, and then do your top coat, your final coat, a week later. Simbo, I've watched most of your videos and picked up some good tips, and would like to say thank you for sharing your content 100%. That's a pleasure, mate. Thank you for saying thank you. Nice to feel appreciated, mate. So spot on. Chris Swan, I've just been doing white sand and cement smooth render all week. Footnote for how much? I don't know what you've wrote there. Your fingers have gone mad on the keyboard there, mate. Much I hate white sand with a passion. What this worst job that you avoid? Right, okay. I'm assuming you say what's something I hate doing. I'll be honest with you, mate. I'm getting sick of doing Monocou's render because I hand apply it. I haven't invested in a machine, and I've had a few good years of just, it seems to be relentless just to finish one job and onto the next with a few sort of skimming jobs in between. And I'm ultimately sick of Monocou's render, mate. It's just hard, heavy work. Don't get me wrong, good money, but just heavy work, man. There's easier ways of making money, Dave Studhurst, fantastic channel, Kirk. Cheers, Dave, you're a gentleman. Natasha France, hey, dude. How's it doing, Tash? Me mate, how are you, mate? You okay? Keep doing what you're doing. Spot on, thanks, Tash. And you know what? I hope I haven't said nothing. I sometimes forget that there's the odd lady pops up on the channel, so I do hope I haven't said nothing offensive. Pizza Boy UK, hi, mate. Do you watch? Oh, okay. Am I rereading comments here? Charlie Costa, have you ever gone to fix a customer's try it plastering? Yes, many times, mate. Nick Paintbrush, never a thumbs down, mate. Spot on, Nick. Hey, Nick, as well, thanks for the comments on the videos. I do read as many comments as possible, mate, and I do spot them. I appreciate the kind things that you say, mate. Thank you. Tom Kirk, 21 meters times 3 meters high sand and cement render. How much roughly would that cost? Saying that 5 meters of one of the walls is a bifold door. Rough guesstimate. Okay, so it's basically going to be. I mean, I don't know how much you put on in a day, mate. That for me, I'd probably do something like that in 2 days with me and the lad. So I would just, whatever you charge a day, plus whatever the lad charges a day, plus the materials, times 2. That's and a bit of profit in the job. I mean, I don't know what you charge. What do they charge in your part of the world, mate? Plasterers maybe £300 a day, something like that, 400 a day, plus the lad. I don't know. You probably say about £1,000. You're not going to be a mile out, are you? Somewhere around there. Are we there? So, yeah, sand and cement. Yeah, I'd say about £1,000. Fair price, isn't it? £800, £1,000, somewhere around that. It's hard to price jobs without seeing them, isn't it? But ultimately, bear in mind, mate. Bear this in mind. If anyone's talking about pricing, if you're a plasterer, I'm sorry, customers, you're probably not going to. People that are watching this that are wanting plastering jobs done probably aren't going to like the sound of this. But ultimately, fellas, don't sell yourself short for the start. You've got all your overheads. You got to pay tax, national insurance, your van, your phone bill, flipping your work clothes, all that has to come out of it. Your van repairs, you've got to buy a new van. Don't forget, all these expenses are going to be added. You've got to build all these into what you charge. And then ultimately, you can't run your business at cost price day in, day out. You just can't work for what you charge a day for day in, day out, because when recessions come, you will go under. You can't literally just say, okay, that's what I need to live, so that's what I'll charge. Because when something happens, when your van gets wrote off and you need to just go out and buy a new van, when a recession comes and you're sat at home, or when it's raining, and you can't just run your business at cost. You've got to put a little bit of profit on the jobs. I'm not saying go out and rip customers off, but I'm sure customers understand that businesses have to have a profit margin. They have to make the money and have a little bit of profit in the business just to be able to survive when bad things happen. If a job goes wrong, here's a better way of thinking of it from a customer's standpoint. Would you prefer somebody to come and do your job for you? Right? If you're a customer, if I come to do your job and you knew I was going to make a little bit of profit, and the next guy priced you and he was going to make no profit and he was cheaper than me, right? Here's the thing. If there's a problem on your job and something goes wrong, this guy is going to have to bodge it and get out of there because there's no money. Or me, I've charged a little bit of profit on every single job for the last 2 years. I've got some money built up. When something goes wrong on your job, I've got, okay, this is what we have to do. We have to go and get some plasterboards. We have to do this, and this, and we have to fix it now. We have to go down this route instead. And there's no extra charge to you. It's an unforeseen cost, so I'll take it on the chin, but I can afford to fix the job now. So from a customer's standpoint, you're better off going with somebody that's got a little bit of, charges you a bit more, but can afford to do a proper job if there's a problem. I hope that makes sense. That's how I sell it anyway. That's how I try and justify it. Mike, there's a man who loves his trade. Yeah, cheers, mate. Do you know what? I've missed me. It's 11 o'clock at night. What are we doing, fellas? It's flipping 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to have Weetabix or something now, aren't I? Do you know what? I'm enjoying having a chat with you, though. I do enjoy it, to be fair. Amit Matharu, I hope I've said your name right, mate. I hope I haven't pronounced that wrong. Most informative videos on plastering. You give a lot of confidence to guys out there learning. Keep it up, Kirk. Cheers, Amit. Thank you, mate. Kieran Phillips, send me some extra time, Kirk. I'm learning at the minute, and a little more time would help. Okay, mate. I'll tell you what to do. Kieran, I'm not pulling your leg, mate. Send me an email, which you can find my email address on the channel. Send me an email. I'll send you my address. Put put an envelope in the post with an envelope that I can send them back in. So 2 stamps, and I'll send you the load of them, mate. You can have a load of them. Okay, you're paying the postage, though. Don't mind doing it, but you have to send me the envelope and everything with your name and address on it, and I'll bung it in the post box with a load of that in it for you. All right, pal. Can't be fairer than that, can I? If you're learning, and I know what it's like when you're starting out, mate, so not a problem. On-site services, thanks so much for your channel. I'm a plaster builder, and your pride in work is so refreshing. Thank you. Keep smiling, big man. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. GG GW. You guys have got some flipping crazy names. Join late. When do you normally stream? Mate, this is just off the cuff. I usually try and do a live stream on a Sunday. Sundays at 7 or 8 o'clock, somewhere around there. But I'll be honest with you, I've got my bathroom on the go. I've just been super busy. I haven't done a live stream, and I had a bit of time spare tonight. I wanted to edit a video on doing artexing, but I just thought I'd just jump on and have a chat to you guys. Oh, by the way, AJ, if you're still watching, thank you very much, mate. I've seen that coming as well. AJ's just dropped me a few drinks there, so you're a gentleman. Much appreciated. Gary Lynch, I missed plastering, had a few heart issues and had to give it up. Stuck inside a factory now. Oh, mate, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope the ticker's okay, mate. You can always can you not squeeze a little job out on a Sunday every now and then just to keep your hand in, just to do a little bit? AJ probably doesn't make up for that cat ruining the dough. What's the point in cats? Yeah, spot on. Spot on, AJ. Where am I up to here now? Oh, I've done it again. It's flipping done it again. There we go. Gaz Jones, love the content. Can you recommend any places that do an intensive course? I know intensive courses aren't always ideal, but I can't go to college full time. Love the Trump plate. Oh, that's another thing as well. Do you know when I say I'm not going to sell out as well? You wouldn't believe, lads, the amount of, and ladies, sorry, you wouldn't believe the amount of comments that I get on my videos of people moaning about me Budweiser flag, like, and me little Trump plate over there. That's giving me stick about it. I'm like, what do you want to do? Write a letter to the ombudsman. I'm not the BBC. I don't care. This is my little man cave, right? This is like, I know it's like where I do my videos from, but ultimately I built this place for me. It's only sort of like for my eyes only. I mean, that was a gift. And then so was that, actually. They were both gifts, but I like them. I'm not going to start changing my personality to suit everybody else. Look, and another thing as well, I've got mates. I've got best mate, very, very good friends. We don't see eye to eye on everything. In fact, we disagree on a lot of stuff. And that's why we're good mates, because I appreciate... My mate Muzz, Lee Murray, I love the fact he's got the balls to disagree with me, and we'll have not arguments, but we'll go head to head on loads of subjects. And I love him for that. The fact that he's called me out loads of times and said, Kurt, in the past, Kurt, you're doing that, and that. You shouldn't do that, mate. You shouldn't be doing that. And I think that's a good mate. So you don't have to agree on everything. You don't have to love me Budweiser poster, but I think you're a bit weird if you don't like it, by the way. Unless you're a lady, then I understand. And I mean, little Trump thing there, Donald Trump. I like the Trumpers. I think he's ace. And you got to respect the fella, even if you don't like him. He's got the balls to tell you what he thinks. Better than most of the politicians, eh? The ones that they'll just tell you what they think you want to hear just to get the votes. And the thing with a lot of politicians as well, we're not getting political, by the way, but a lot of politicians, they're not giving you their policies. They're doing what their sponsors pay them to do. They're puppets. Whereas at least with the Trumpers, he doesn't need the money. He just does what he thinks is best, which I can get along with that. Right, sorry, Gaz. Going back to what we were talking about. Love the content. Can you recommend any places that do an intensive course? So, Gaz, I think Gold Trial do a thing. I think that I've only ever heard good things about them. That's the only one I know of. I do a little thing where I do like a sort of a video coaching one-on-one sort of situation. It's hard to explain. If you click in the link in one of my videos, you'll come across my little landing page, mate. I do a little course where I'll teach you not to be a plasterer, but how to plaster a wall and a ceiling to a fairly good standard. There's only so much you're going to be able to do without someone showing you hands on and without you practicing every single day. But, you know, I give you a good head start on it. So I've got a little thing that you could jump on. And if you wanted hands on, then I think Gold Trowel there seems to be the most established. But ultimately, if you want to learn to be a plasterer, mate, you're better off working with a plasterer. That's the truth, you know. You need to be doing it every day with somebody sort of showing you. If you wanted to work as a plasterer, I could show you something that you'd be able to do a wall for yourself in your bathroom or something if you needed to, you know. Thoughts on sponge and plaster affinity? Yeah, it works, mate. It brings all the fat to the surface, so the surface of the plaster is weaker. But does it work? Yes, it'll give you a nice flat finish. It's good for beginners. I personally don't do it, not because I've got any bad sort of hang-ups against it. It's just an extra step in the process for me. I want to get a great finish with as little steps as possible, you know? So I want to do the best I can, but I also want to do the minimum amount of work to get to that end result. So sponging stuff is just an extra process that I don't need to do, and it makes a lot of mess. You know, water running down the wall and sloppy plaster everywhere. I don't personally need to do it. It gets you a nice uniform flat finish if you're not good at laying it on neat. If you can put it on neater, you don't need to sponge it, so saves you all that hassle. But nothing against lads that do it, you know. It's just I haven't got the energy to do it, mate. I do enough without having to get a sponge out as well. Poo pot, cheers, Kirk. Thanks for all your help. Spot on, mate. BR Aki. Hi, Kirk. Do you think as a domestic plasterer you could get away with doing 2.5 to 3 bags a day, or would your output need to be more? No. Yeah, that's fine, mate. Flipping heck. Some days I only use 2 bags myself. I'll use up to 9 or 10 bags some days, and some days I'll only use 1, mate. So, I mean, you got to think as well with domestic plastering. It's not all about meterage. It's not about how much you do. When it comes to the domestic market, depending on what customers you're targeting, you know, my customers that I work for aren't bothered on how many meters I'm going to get done and how much I'm going to get up the wall every day. And it's not just the plaster they pay for, it's the whole service, you know. When they first contact you, how easy are you to get hold of? That's an important thing to customers. You try and phone a plasterer. Literally phone another plasterer in your local town and see if they answer the phone. Trust me, nobody answers the phone. You ring them up. No, just rings off. So from a customer's point of view, if you answer the phone, if you turn up on time, if you're punctual, polite, clean, if you make them feel comfortable in their own homes, if you're respectful, if you look after their property, if you solve their problems, if you make them feel safe and confident in you, if you know how to solve problems, if you don't get caught out and you don't rip people off, ultimately you could get away with using 1 bag a day because people will pay for that service. People just want somebody to come in and do a nice job, not batter out loads and loads of. Don't get me wrong, you will always get that customer that wants blood, you know, out of a stone, but just swerve them. I want to work for people that want good quality and don't mind paying a bit more money for it, for having a great service as well. So, yes, I think, you know, I think what you said there, 3 bags a day, yeah, you could make it pay. Nick Paintbrush, cheers. Joe Hanley, 25 years plastering myself, but must say, really refreshing seeing such a real guy. Most are all bullshitters. Lol. Real world fixes for real world problems. Good. Any mistakes, fair play. Spot on. Cheers, mate. Thank you, Joe. The Travelling Tailors. Hi, Kirk. Yours is the only DIY channel I watch with the hubby. You're a great guy. Oh, thank you very much. Cheers, mate. I appreciate that, love. Ready to burn wood art. Hi, Kirk. Hi, Kirk. Put the clock full, please. Gonna give me a bad net. Oh, yes. I will do. I've got to take the battery out to do it. Didn't even notice. Oh, by the way, Ready to Burn Wood Art, they kindly donated me this. So if you look in the comments now, Ready to Burn Wood Art, go and check them out. Lovely lady made me that and sent it out to me all free of charge. Look at that. Hey, I was made up as well because I was trying to see the little sign I've got up there. I had that made from someone, and ultimately it needed to be bigger. And then these guys just made this for me instead. So absolutely made up with it. Sorry about the time. I'll adjust that time. Gaz Jones in Merseyside. Oh, spot on, mate. Only up the road for me then. Tom, it's a job at mine. I need to get a quote for to have the work done. Yeah, of course, bud. Cheers, appreciate that. Oh, hell no, everyone's worth their rate. Oh, spot on. I see what you mean, Tom. Yeah, that's what I'd say, mate. That's if you're talking about the rendering, I think yes, it was you, Tom, the rendering. Yeah, I would imagine, Tom, you're going to be shooting no more than £1,000, mate. I would say would be about a fair price, no more than £1,000, and I'd sort of say no cheaper than, if you're getting prices sort of cheaper than £600, £700, I'd be a bit worried. And if you're getting prices more than, say, 1,000, then somewhere around there, maybe a bit more than, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say, mate. I don't want to put words in someone's mouth. I haven't seen the job, but I'd say anything less than 7, maybe steer clear. Anything maybe more than 12, maybe might be a bit dodgy, but somewhere in between there is probably going to be about right, mate. I know it's a massive window, but I haven't seen the job, so. And as well, Tom, remember, everyone, as I've just said then, all the other things involved, what they like to deal with, how clean are they, how polite are they, the better service you're going to get, you're ultimately going to pay for it. So, just disappointed. Yo, Kirk, when are you selling broken carbons again on your website? Soon, mate. I've just got a couple that I just need to get done. I sort of feel really guilty that these guys managed to buy them without the link stopping. So I want to get that done and finished and sort of back to a level playing field again, where I feel happy that I haven't got nobody's money and they haven't got their product. And then once that's done, then I'll do more again. But we just need to get that sorted first, mate, ultimately. Adam R. Hi, mate. Been taping jointing for a few years now. Love the channel. Just wondering if you've done much of it yourself. Would love a go at plastering. Never tried it. Can imagine it's a lot harder. No, you probably find it quite easy, mate, because you're used to working with wet material. I've done a couple taping jointing jobs. For me, I struggled with that as well, because the process for me just seems so drawn out. Now, I know I'll say it's good for massive areas, what you're doing, the tape and jointing. But for small areas, the whole process, I feel, with a bit of accelerator, I could just skim the room in half the time, Where are we? Right, I just lost the comments again. Let's go up from the bottom instead. Hi there. Would you take a job in Lee? No, sorry, mate. A little bit far for me, to be honest with you, mate. Tom, cheers, Kirk. Right, big lad. Take it easy, Tom. See you later, pal. Zig Pun. Been a plasterer for over 40 years. Had to retire due to severe arthritis. Look after your body, lads. You're spot on, mate. Sorry to hear that as well. Chris McCarthy. Hi, Kirk. Just moved into a doing upper with a wife and kids. About to embark on decorating from top to bottom. Any tips for first-time plasterer who's going to be doing walls and ceilings? Have a few practice runs, mate, on small wall first. Something without a window and with as little sockets and stuff as possible, and practice on that, and take the skirting board off and maybe just go over it a few times, mate. It's going to take a little bit of time, but do a bit of practicing first. The Anglian Artex Buster. You always reply on WhatsApp, mate, and make an effort. And you're a good man. You give a lot out. Never forget to spend time on yourself. What would you like to do next? God bless. Hadley from Norfolk. Yeah, appreciate that, mate. So yeah, some guys get hold of my phone number and message me. I genuinely do try and respond to everybody that asks me a question. I genuinely try and get back to everybody and do the best I can. And if I don't know, I try and say I don't know. So I appreciate you saying that, mate. Thank you. Where am I going here? I'm baby dad. I'm 28, was a cliff driller. Boss retired, had to train up in a new trade, joined a college course, been doing it for a year now. No plastering company near me is taking on, and I'm so anxious of going alone. Mate, I'll tell you exactly what I would do if I was in your situation. Get yourself a CSCS card. You've probably already got one. Hard hat vest, you know the drill for the building sites. Go to a building site. I know it sounds counterproductive, but it's a good way of getting in with somebody. Go to a building site, find the plasterers, and offer to work for free. Just say, listen, give me a try. I'll work for a couple of days for you for nothing. If I'm no good, then it's no skin off your nose. If I can jump in with you, though, it'd be, great. I've got my CSS card. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to work now. Turn up on site and do it. You'd be surprised how fellas will appreciate the fact that you're there and you've actually turned up, rather than send them a text message or something. And chances are, say, look, I'm ready. I'll load boards in for you now. I'll do whatever you need. Just give me a shot. If I'm no good, then get rid of, you haven't lost nothing. Now, any genuine fella, any real man is not going to have you work all day for nothing. They're going to pay you as long as you're not useless. What the reason I say that is as well, and people flipping poor face when I say that, you've got to remember when somebody starts with a plasterer, say now, I've just took on a new apprentice, yeah, Leighton's with me now. When he starts with me now, I don't know. He told me he's been to college, he's done plastering in college. I don't know how much plastering he can do. I don't know what he's capable of. So I've got to commit to giving him a job. So I've said, yeah, okay, I'll give you a job. So now I'm sort of stuck with the lad. He's okay. He's a good lad. But, from my mindset, I'm stuck with him. If he's useless, I've got to pay him. And that money comes directly out of my wages. See, the jobs aren't priced for him as well. Customers don't care that I've got an extra lad. They don't want to pay me more money for him, ultimately. So I'm paying him out of what I could have for myself. So when you want to start with another plastering firm or a gang of plasterers on a building site, your wages is coming out of their profit that they could be spending in the pub or on the missus or on a holiday. So if it's a big commitment for them to make if they don't know what you're like at working. So once you muck in and you show that you're a good grafter and you can get stuck in and you can do a bit, then they're happy to pay you. But otherwise, you're asking for something and they don't know if they see. You know what I'm trying to say, don't you? Right. Guys, I'll be honest with you. It's 12:20. My flipping head's burnt out. I'm tired. I want to go and have something to eat. Beverly, message retracted. I don't know what's happened to your message, Beverly. I didn't retract it, so I'm sorry that it's gone. Chris Pearson's the freebie videos of class. Said it before, legend. Cheers, Chris. Thank you, mate. Zip Gun, been a plaster of. Oh, yeah, we've got that one. Cheers. Right, I think I've read all them. Kieran Phillips, you're a star, mate. Thank you. Cheers, Kieran. Chrome Valentin, do you know of Liverpool school plasterings any good? I don't, mate. I'll be honest with you. I've never been to any of these plastering schools. I've never been on one of the courses. I do know if somebody worked with me for a week and I stood behind them and trained them to plaster day in, day out, solid for a week, by the end of the week, I'd be quite confident that they'll be able to go and skim a wall. But the thing with it is, here's the thing, right? I could teach someone to plaster a wall probably in 2 or 3 days if that's all we did. Mixing takes time to learn as well, though. Cleaning up takes time to learn. The process, the mindset takes time to learn. So I think you can learn to plaster a wall in a week, but becoming a plasterer wouldn't be a week because the whole process takes a lot longer. Once you've got past all that and you go into real life situations, you come across different problems, and that is experience, and you can't teach experience. So that's why a plastering apprenticeship is usually like 3 to 5 years, because it genuinely takes that amount of time of running into different situations. If I could line up every single problem you're going to come across and give them your all one after the next, then it'd be great. But ultimately, you don't these things, something will catch you out after 2 years, and you go, "Oh, what do I do here? 'Cause I've never had this before," and that's why the experience takes time to build up. So yeah, a plastering course is good, but you're going to do that if you're going to do that. Have a plasterer on hand that you can call on for when things go wrong, and you can video call, say, "Look, this has happened. What do I do with this?" You know, and I mean, I do a bit of that, but I can't do it for every single person in the world. You know, so but that'd be a good help to you. You know, right, where are we, guys? Where are we up to the comments? Gaz Jones, really appreciate your time. Take it easy, Bob. Okay, guys, any tips to preserve energy plastering walls as a beginner? Yeah, slow down, focus on technique, mate, rather than going like the clappers. Beverly, message retracted. There we go, Beverly. Now your message has come through. What's the best way to find a good plasterer? I don't know why your last message was retracted. I don't retract your messages. I don't know if YouTube do it or if you've done it yourself. But it may be because you've said a swear word or something in the comments. I don't know. What's the best way to find a good plasterer? Right. Ask for recommendations from people that you know that have had plastering work done. Ask to see the jobs. When you find a plasterer, here's the thing, right? We don't appreciate it if you're a customer, Beverly, which I'm sure you're asking from a customer standpoint. We don't appreciate it when somebody gets like 30 quotes or something, because basically a lot of fellas are having the time wasted. Okay, so it's rubbish for me when somebody gets me round to their house because they're getting like 5 or 6 quotes and they have me there for an hour explaining the ins and outs of absolutely everything. Then to say, "Oh, we're going to get another plasterer and do the same to him, and another plasterer and do the same to him," and it's a little, it feels a little bit unfair on us when people do that to us. So I'll tell you a better way of doing it, which is a little bit more legwork on your side, but you're going to get a better job out of it. Phone a plasterer. Ask for recommendations first of people maybe on Facebook and say, "Can someone recommend the plasterer that you've actually had in your home that's done a nice job?" Get recommendations of people that you know and trust. And then when you've got maybe 2 or 3 people, phone them up and ask them if you can come and see a job that they're doing or a job that they've done recently, if you could take a look at their work. I would have no problem. I've done it loads of times. If a customer phones me and says, "Hey, Kirk, looking at having some work done. Any chance we could see your work?" Like, I'll say, "Yeah, I'm at such and such a place. Feel free to pop past and see us now if you want. Or if you want a rendering job, I can tell you the addresses where I've done jobs that you can go and look at." Try that way instead, because then you're not wasting people's time. And if somebody's decent, they have no problem with you looking at what they've done. Whereas anybody that doesn't want you to turn up and see a job that they've done, then maybe that's a warning sign. That said, you have got to bear in mind, though, just one little word of caution on that. You've got to bear in mind that the customer they're working for might not want people turning up at their house. So, you'd have to figure that out, wouldn't you? Just ask them, "Do you think your customers would mind if I popped in?" And then they could ask. That's another way of doing it. And then you get to see what the work's like. Chris Swan. Yeah, Beverly, cheers. Hope that makes sense. Chris Swan, bit far away. I'm from Scotland. Just go and do it a baby dad. Oh, yeah, sorry, you're replying to him. MC Shopping Centre, keep your customers happy. You can swear at yourself on the way home. Like Kirk top stuff. Spot on. AJ, got some tea and get some tea and kit, mate. Brilliant live this. Hope you do more. Cheers, AJ. AJ, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Jordan B, 8 years in doing rendering, plastering, rough cast, wet cast, all aspects of it. Top man. Right, guys, do us a favour. I'm going to read these last comments. Stop commenting because I want to go and have something to eat. Jordan B, any advice for a 26-year-old who is already almost burnt out? I've burnt out loads of times, mate, so I'm probably not the best person to ask for it. What I do is when I feel burnout coming, I just take a few days off and turn my phone off. Make sure your customers all tie up all your loose ends. That stresses me out. That's what burns me out when I've got people that I haven't replied to and messages I need to get back to. So just take a bit of time out. Go and have a nice walk in the woods, in a bit of nature, get out, go for a bit of exercise somewhere, right? Turn your phone off and go for a walk for a couple of hours, chill out a little bit. I always like walking in the woods or in the fields. It just being in nature just calms me down a little bit. Turn your phone off, come back a little bit refreshed, tie up all your loose ends, reply to all your customers, maybe tell people you're taking a few days off and just have a couple of days off work, mate, and turn your phone off. Stay off social media, stay off Facebook and all that. Don't watch telly, just chill out for a few days, go for a nice meal. That fixes burnout for me. Now, I've learned to control this now because I've literally worked to the point where I have burnt out a few times, and that's also crap. And if you get to that stage, it's exactly this. For me, it's the same treatment to do exactly the same things. I just go do a little bit of exercise and go walking. Walking in the mountains is great. Turn that phone off, though, mate. That ultimately, that needs to be off. One Dagu. If you don't rate the trials and are not used them recently, then it's a no-brainer. But you could get them to send some out for you to try. Then if you're not happy, at least you know you've tried. Yeah, true enough, mate. Super Boise 123. Keep up the great videos, really watchable, and love the cilantro with Bisbee. Cheers. Alistair Booth. Hey up, Alistair. Where have you been? Flipping heck. Hey up, Kurt. Love the last video, especially when your little boy appeared at the top of the ladder. I know, mate. I know. I got some stick for that. I got people saying to me, we've got to watch out. We've got to be... Mate, I felt people saying to me, you've got to be careful with your, you put that on like, look, it's real life. That genuinely happened. I was shooting a video like that in the attic, and the little fella popped up the ladder, and he climbed up it by himself. It's genuinely happened, and yeah, hopefully I don't get in trouble for it, but I try and be authentic, It scared the life out of me. I was like, grabbed him. I thought one of his sisters had passed him up through the hatch, but he just climbed up. 18 months old, climbing up ladders. Yeah, we don't leave ladders lying around now because he's nuts. GG Jeruji, good night. Ostap Kapenko, thanks for sharing your experience and thanks for the stream. Very nice comments. Cheers, Ostap, mate. Thank you very much. Jordan B, physically burnt out at 26 is crazy. I think I used to be crazy fast, but not anymore. I know, mate. No. 39 bags of render solo is my record, lol. Mixing and SP. Well, that's why. That's slow down a bit, mate. Yeah, Ostap, it's the technique, spot on. Right, synthetic fusion. Kirky, if you carry on like this, you'll be having breakfast lunches. Kitchen man. Right, gentlemen and ladies, it's been a pleasure. Connor Bennett, why aren't you gone to bed? Work in the morning. Because do you know what, Connor? Because I try and be polite and answer everyone's questions. But now that's it, I'm done. So don't send any more things in because I've had enough. I'm starving. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's been emotional. The cat. Thanks, Kurt. Great vids. Cheers, Ash. I'm gone. Go on. AJ, one more. I'm getting a flipping drink. Oh, how many people online are we? 130 flipping heck. Do you know what? I never look at the number count. 137 people online. Makes me nervous to think. Can you imagine, right, if there was a room, right, with 137 people in? I mean, if it was like 250 odd before, can you imagine all them people sat in front of you and you talking to them? I'd probably go like, scared to say anything, but because it's on a screen, I can't see you. It's easy. That said, I have done a bit of public talking, and I get a little buzz out of it. It scares the life out of speaking to a big audience at weddings and things like that when you do your best man speech. I've spoke to audiences loads of times. It scares the life out of me. I get a bit of dry mouth, but I get a kick out of doing it. I do genuinely enjoy it. I'm just drinking the remnants of that. Chris Saber, night mate, go get some food. Do you know what, mate? I think I'm just gonna flipping go to bed now. Jordan B. Kirk, honestly, watch you every night because you're such a nice and truthful with what you do. Go and have a beer, mate. Cheers, George. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Matty King, go to bed, brother. You deserve it. Brilliant to see you. Look after yourself. Cheers, Matthew. Chris Swan, almost 200 early. I know, mate. I know. On my little thing, I've seen about 220 people watching. It was yeah. It's very humbling. It's very. I do genuinely feel very humbled. You guys like listening to me because my missus, I go in there, right, try and speak to them like, shh, 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 we're watching, you know. I think I can't get a word in edgeways. So come out here and chat to you fellas. It's quite nice for me. Sam Madison, probably already been brought up. But it was awesome seeing you and Big Roger doing videos together. He's a legend. Yes, I enjoyed it, mate. Chris Swan, what's the beer tonight on the Moretti? Yeah, Chris, I haven't really had a beer, mate, for ages. I'm drinking AG1 at the minute. There's another little plug for them. I don't even know if I'm going to get paid for this yet, but yeah. MC Shop said you could go and meet Trump, teach him to spread. And you imagine. Do you know what? I've heard quite a few things about people that he's reached out and spoke to and that in the past. Apparently, he does have quite a big heart and he goes and sees people. You know, if someone writes to him in need, he'll turn up and go and see them and help them out and stuff. Not for media, because the media never cover it when he does it. But I've heard a few things that he's done, a few nice things for people. AJ Knight, mate. Take it easy, AJ. Jordan B. Best blasters to watch, to be honest. Solid. Cheers, Jordan. Thank you, mate. Beverly, is $3,000 too much for 2 walls, 3 meters each? Feel I've been ripped off. $3,000. Beverly, I don't know what they've done for $3,000. If somebody has charged you $3K to skim 6 square meters of wall, then I would say that's a little bit excessive. But if you've had, I don't know what you've had done. I mean, have you had a damp-proof job done? Is it lime plastering? Is there more to it, or is it just 2 walls been re-skimmed? Elliot Manning, I plastered reveals today, and they had small cracks in them. Is it because it dries too quick? Yeah, try some SBR, mate. Try some SBR. When it dries out too quick, it'll crack and curl off, and ultimately it won't be bonded very well to the wall. So probably just skimmed. Yeah, $3,000 for 6 meters, Bev, I would say is, sorry, mate. It sounds to me, I haven't seen the job, so I'm not going to start saying that someone's ripped it off because I don't know what's been involved in it. But if it's just literally re-skimming 6 square meters, then 3,000 quid is that is, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not cheap. I like charging a lot of money because it's ultimately good for me, but I wouldn't rip somebody off, and that seems like very excessive. I would almost say, well, I don't want to say they've ripped it off because I don't know what's involved and I don't know what the situation was, but the $3,000 for 2 walls is flipping ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know who the hell they think they are, but that's, to me, I feel a little bit sickened by that, if it is what I'm envisioning. But I haven't seen the job, so I don't know. I'm just reading the comments after here. Did you pay for the materials as well? So it depends how people charge you. I mean, price per square meter, Beverly, is, I don't know what people charge per square meter. I mean, if a plasterer's charged you and he's priced it like how I'd price it, I work out roughly what I need a day, at times how many days it's going to be to do the job, plus materials, plus a bit of profit. I mean, but I would easily skim 2 walls in a day, easily. Even if I bought all materials, charge you, I mean, it's the very most the very, very absolute most for one day's work for a plasterer to skim 2 walls should be like no more than 600 quid. I mean, that'd be, in my opinion, fairly pricey. You know, that'd be like the upper end of what you should expect to pay. So 3,000 quid, in my opinion, someone's took the piss a little bit, you know. But I don't, like I say, I don't know the situation. I haven't seen the job. I don't know what they've had to get over to do that, you know. I don't know what the prep was involved in it and stuff. I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I just have to be careful what I say because, you know, I don't know the situation. So, blue grit and skim, she wrote, yeah. Wow. Yes, I had to pay for the materials. Yeah, that doesn't sound fair, mate. That, Beverly, what you said doesn't sound fair, to be honest with you. Sounds like someone's ripped you off, unfortunately. But I don't think there's a look. I know it's sad now, and I don't know what your plans are going forward, whether you're going to go and follow this up and do anything about it. If I can make you feel better, I've been ripped off myself in the past, Beverly. You know, I don't think there's a single person walking this planet that hasn't been ripped off at some point. I've been diddled myself on numerous different occasions. I never got ripped off of this. I actually owed it, but I got done by the taxman once for 37 grand. I'm just trying to make you feel better, Beth. I had to pay 37 grand in one go once. That hurt. That left me a little bit sore after that. So if that makes you feel any better, mate. AJ, have you ever plastered for someone famous? Yeah, I've plastered for a few famous people. Ultimately, though, I'll tell you my thing. Famous people. I've never really been that that sort of held somebody like, you know, oh, the famous, you know. I sort of like if I met, say, Donald Trump, I'd probably, all right, mate, you know, it's not like, I don't know, I wouldn't sort of be like, woo, yeah. So yeah, I've done a few jobs for famous people. And I tell you, I had a laugh with one. It was what's his flipping name now? He was in a boy band, Shane Lynch. He does drifting now. You know, I don't understand it really. I do understand it, but I don't get the concept of it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But they do a thing called drifting. Shane Lynch, I think he was in Boyzone or Take That or something. He was in a boy band, not my type of music, right? So I wasn't ultimately like, woo, Shane Lynch, you know. It's like maybe if it was Dolly Parton or something, or Kenny Rogers, I'd be a bit more excited. But he does drifting, so that basically means they get in cars, and then they just go dead fast, and then wheel spin the cars and go sideways, and they just go around the track, just wrecking the tires the whole way around. That's a sport apparently. Maybe I'm a bit naive, but people enjoy doing that. For me, I'm just thinking, you're just wrecking tires for the hell of it. But anyway, so he does that, and he raffles off supercars and does stuff with supercars, and he's got a place not far from me. So we went in there and plastered his showroom where he's going to show these cars off. And we had a bit of a laugh with him. He was sound enough. But I said to him, look, have a picture. And I seen his face like, oh, here we go, you know. And I said, you can tell all your mates you met Kurt the Plasterer. So, Ireland 1986. Ho's job, that is 450 to 600 here in the States. Ostap Kapenko, I plastered 250 meters squared for 4 grand. I know, don't make her feel bad, fellas. Yeah, I feel bad for Beverly, but I don't want to sort of rub it in. Don't rub salt in the wounds. All I can say, Beverly, I hope that the plastering's flipping mint. It better be flipping mint for that price. SOS Chris, 3K should be enough to skim a whole house. Well, yeah, at least the downstairs of the house anyway, yeah. Oh, flipping heck. It's horrible when someone gets flipping diddled, isn't it? Zimmy Yance, love your welding and advertising for dummies in the background. Oh yeah, you spotted that, have you? I bought. I've got a little welding machine out there, and I ultimately didn't need that. I got it just in case I wanted to get it, in case I wanted to learn. But I actually just taught myself to weld. Not very good, but I get by. And I tell you one thing, I wish I knew about welding before I did it. Is to wear. I had a little face mask on and I put the gloves on, but I still had a t-shirt on and the front of my boots and everything, and I had a pair of shorts on. I didn't realise how much stuff actually splats off when you're doing it, and like little flipping bits of molten metal sting you. But I just gritted my teeth and carried on because I'm a man. And then the next day, looked at myself, I looked like I had chicken pox. There's little red dots all over me that were sore as hell as well. Ostap Kapenko, material bought and rang the house owner in my case. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, GG. Beverly, are you in London? Has Beverly replied to that? Let's see. No. Okay. Jordan B, told you my plastering mates and that I always talk about how you do it so good, mate. Keep it up. Jordan B, told you to my plastering mates and they always talk about how you do it so good, mate. Keep it up. Oh, cheers, Jordan. You're a gentleman. Thank you very much, mate. Andy Slate, how much of the materials and how many bags of gear? Yeah, that's a good shout. I wonder if she remembers. Jordan B. Got to the point my mates ask me for rendering advice, even though they're twice my age. Yeah, spot on, George. Eddie Gilks, will you go to bed, please? I'm knackered here watching. How do you think I feel, Eddie? It's flipping you lot. You keep asking me questions. Jordan, if you know, boys don't keep on talking the new systems in place, are bound to ask. Yeah, spot on, Chris. Danish is saying, have you ever tried craft tool plastering trowels? I haven't, mate. No, I haven't. Stephen Clark, is there a cheap trowel you recommend for a beginner? Ultimately, mate, a cheap trowel won't help you. If you want to do a nice job, then you need a decent trowel, and it helps if they're worn in as well. I'm not trying to plug my trowels, by the way, but ultimately, it's the older the trowel, the better chance you're going to have. Look, here's the better way of doing it, right? When you're saying a cheap trowel for a beginner, you are better off going and finding a local plasterer and asking him if he's got an old skimming trowel that he'll sell you. You'll have a much easier time plastering with it. When a trowel's worn in, it leaves a much nicer job. It's almost impossible to leave a nice job with a brand new trowel, especially if you're a beginner. So that would be my advice, mate. If you had to buy a trowel and you couldn't buy a second-hand one of someone, because you're only going to do one or two. See, if you're going to be a plasterer and you're going to plaster loads of walls, then getting a brand new trowel is okay because you're going to wear it in because you're going to use it a lot. If you're just going to do one wall or maybe a room in your house as a beginner and then that's it, then ultimately you're sort of fighting a losing battle because you're not going to be able to wear your trowel and you're going to buy a brand new trowel and it's not going to leave the nice. It's going to make the job harder to do. Yeah. It's going to make it difficult, mate. Flipping it. Why are you guys going mad in the comments? I'm going to sleep. Like Chris One, like Kirk, Jordan B from Scotland, Wandango, the Amazon one. Go back and watch the video. Yeah, I wore that in on a grinder, though. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but it worked. Jordan B. Hand applied renders, sometimes 70 bags. Flipping it, mate. Slow down, George. You're going to kill yourself. Mensch. Kirk, I want to learn plastering to help my bird put her makeup on in the morning. Any tips? Mate, beauty is only a light switch away. It's what we used to say in the local boozer. Where I used to drink used to be the roughest pub in the town. And that's what we used to say at the end of the night when it's like, last orders and everyone was copping off, and you're like in your 20s. And then you'd watch your mate bladdered out of some bird. I'd say to him, Beauty's only a light switch away, mate. Remember. SOS Chris Kirk, has anyone ever said you gives a job? I can do that. Yeah, you're talking about boys and the black stuff, aren't you? Gotta watch out you don't get head butted. Stephen Clark. Anthony Farr, how's the bathroom going? Not bad, mate. It's literally at the stage where you've seen the last video. I haven't done any more since that video. Skater Guy 52, Marshalltown, Permagold, pre-warn trial, good for beginners in my opinion. 55 quiddish though. I tried a cheap Ragni and it was hard to get a nice finish. Yeah, Skater Guy's right. They are a nice trial. They say they're pre-warn. Ultimately, realistically, they're not. They're a little bit further ahead, but not any noticeable difference for you. Although they are a nice trial. So, yeah, Skater Guy, sorry, now called Permashape, the Marshalltown ones. Yeah, you're spot on, yeah. Mensch, opinion on sponge troweling. What, mate, on are you on about the misses or are you actually on the wall now? I said before, mate, you must have missed it. I don't know if you joined in then or not. But I don't like sponging because it's an extra step in the process, really, for me. And I try and keep the steps in the process to a minimum. So I don't personally sponge. Nothing against anyone that does, but it just Jordan B went rough casting in the spare time. Oh, Beverly, you skipped in. Yeah, it's Beverly, I'm quite intrigued. So if you're still watching, Beverly, which I'm sure you are because you've only just commented, go to my channel description, please. If you get a chance tomorrow, maybe go to my channel description and my email address is in the channel description. Bev, send me a picture, please, if you think on of the job that's been done, because that doesn't sound right. 3,000 quid for 2 walls. I mean, if you can just take a picture of the 2 walls, stand back so I can get an idea of the scale, the size of the room, and what the job is. And if you could just send me a picture over and just sort of say what they've had to do, you know, how many bags and that you had to buy them and stuff, just so I can get an idea for you, mate, because I'd like to give you my honest opinion. And I'm just sort of shooting in the dark at the minute here, because obviously we're just going off what you're saying and I can't see it. And I'd like to be able to give you my honest opinion then, you know, and then be able to talk about what you want, you know, going forward, what you want to do. If I could give you some advice, you know. No one, what's the max distance you travel for work? To be honest, mate, I try and stay within about half an hour, you know, of where I live, and I'm Ellesmere Port based, so I'm near Liverpool, Chester, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes. I don't want to be traveling for hours and hours. But that said, if it's a really interesting job or it's in a different country, I've had people in the past pay for me to fly me out to Switzerland and do jobs. I enjoy stuff like that, you know, Guernsey and stuff. I like doing things like that. But I ultimately don't want to be driving to, I don't know, 3 hours to plaster a bedroom ceiling, if you catch me drift. So if it's something quite interesting and you don't mind, you know, you want to put me up or pay for me to be put up and you pay me expenses, then I'm all up for having a little adventure. And Leighton, the young apprentice, he wants to go on a little adventure as well. We don't mind doing stuff, but please, not if you're a weirdo. If you're a weirdo, I'm not staying at your house. Okay. So, but ultimately, yeah, I don't mind traveling if it's a good job, if it's something interesting, something a bit different, and it's like a little adventure for us. But otherwise, I try and stay, you know, within about half an hour of where I live, mate. Where are we up to here? Ben Williams, all right, Kirk. So I rewatched your rolling gauge vid, then went out and tried it out. I had a 4-zone gauge, which went really well, nice and organized. But holy cow, it was a long day on me top. Yes, fair play, mate. Fair dues. To be fair, I used to do a rolling mix. And we'd start at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'd start putting on at 7, and I'd just keep putting on and on and on and on and rolling each sort of set into the next one. And we'd just keep going. And I'd stop putting on at 1:30, and then just trowel up whatever was left. And it was just a way of comfortably getting flipping loads and loads done, you know. We would really eat through the work, but it's relentless, mate, you know. I wouldn't recommend that way of working now anyway. I was doing that when I was on site, when I was on price per meter, and it was just a way of getting 100+ meters in every day easily, you know, because you can slow it down and you can be quite comfortable and get loads done. But it's not good for you, mate. It's not good for you. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for your body to just work non-stop. So, like that anyway. I'm not saying to be lazy, but you know, it's very demanding on the body doing that. Mensch, how much do you charge per day? It's always different, mate. It always depends on the job and what, you know, ultimately you're doing and stuff. But ultimately, mate, you know, I would say average sort of plasterers, not me, an average plasterer is going to charge you anywhere from £200 to £400 a day, you know, maybe more in certain situations. I don't know. I personally don't like working for less than £300 a day. But that said, if I can do something in a mix, then I won't charge a day for it. You know, I'll do it on the way home. So, for instance, if I'm doing a full day's work for somebody, I ultimately don't want to be leaving there with anything less than £300. I want 400-500 quid if I can get it. 600. Who knows? The sky's the limit. I mean, I wouldn't charge flipping what someone charged Beverly, but you want to get paid a decent amount. Now, that said, before everyone starts going, he's a rip-off. If it's a little job like a bathroom ceiling or 4 walls in a bedroom, a little room or something, and I can chuck them on in one go, then I'll do something like that on the way home. I'll do a day's work somewhere, and then the way home we'll nip in and chuck a bathroom ceiling on, and it'd be a heck of a lot cheaper because it's just a little top up with a load of this stuff thrown in the mix. You know, £100 bathroom ceiling, bit of half time, job done. So it's just about looking after your customers and giving them a fair price, but also making sure that you get paid a decent amount at the same time, you know. Stephen Clark, that's what you get when you do a live stream and you know your stuff gets a pet. Mate, I know. Oh, right. Danish are saying sponging is not necessary. If anything, you can use your brush to give you the same effect as a sponge. Just brush more in the higher spots and avoid brushing wet plaster. Danish Hussein is giving absolutely spot on advice. That's ultimately what I do. If I get a bit of plaster reacting or tearing or anything sliding on wet sealer, then rather than sponge it, I just dip the brush in the water, brush it one way, brush it another way, leave it, let it pick up a little bit, give it another little brush and trowel it up. It does exactly the same as the sponge. The only thing is, if your brush starts getting old, the bristles will come out a little bit. You know, you have to pick the odd bristle out. Right, guys, I am literally talked out. I feel like my little flipping yapper box hasn't stopped. Oh, should we call it a night? It's flipping midnight, you know. Flipping, your mum will come up soon. Flipping tell you to unplug your flipping computer or something, so you'll have to go to bed. John Sinclair, what's the best way to clean trowels? I ultimately don't. You can soak them, mate. You can put them in a little bath. Put them in a little bath with extra time in there. That works, getting plaster off. But you can put bicarbonate soda in there. But you don't. I don't really bother cleaning my trowels, mate. Just wipe them off. The build up on the back of your trowel ultimately doesn't do anything. So just looks horrible to look at, but it doesn't make a difference to your plastering ultimately. Oh, AJ, get a kit, mate. AJ, do you know what, mate? I'm going. AJ, spot on the money. Cleaner left the water up. Chris Swan, patio cleaner left in the water overnight. Don't do what I did. I put my trowel once in brick acid. I put it a little bath of brick acid and left it in the back of the van overnight. And the next day, because I thought, this is when I was younger, I thought this would be a great idea to see what brick acid does to plaster. Surely it'll just eat it off. So I put neat brick acid in a plastic container, put the trowel in there. The next day, come down, and all that was left of the trowel was the handle. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the shock on my face? The trowel just gone, just dissolved the whole thing. It was just the handle with the little spindle bit, and the long shank. That was all that was left. Gone. Oh, flipping heck. Right, I'm done. I'm done, guys. It's been emotional. We've had a good laugh, haven't we? Cheers for tuning in. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the nice comments. I genuinely have enjoyed our little chat, and thanks for making me feel better as well about not selling out. I only did it for you guys because I wouldn't want to sit here and bullshit you. So take it easy. Good night. God bless. I'll see you on the next live, and I'll try and get a video out. An Artex ceiling video will be the next one coming out. I've got it on my phone. It's all stored on there. I'll edit it and I'll have it out to you in the next couple of days. Takes me a little while though. Cheers, fellas and ladies. Good night. God bless. Get some sleep. Good health to all of you. And